Alright guys, good morning everybody. Welcome to the Baazdos Frontier. We are Dungeons & Designers. We play D&D on Saturdays, and we do all kinds of other wacky shit during the week. This week we are diving back into the Baazdos Frontier, which is a weird West fantasy, kind of based off of like spaghetti westerns and Clint Eastwood movies, but with a weird magical twist. We're following the exploits of Folly's End a few years after their heroic saving of the city of Bastion, and now they're making their way through the wasteland, helping out their friend Guardian, played by Sujin, who has discovered that there is it seems like an army is being built somewhere out in the wasteland of Warforged, and him being a Warforged himself is a bit concerned, and so has gathered a few of his old friends, Chuck, played by Dan, and Quinn, played by Autumn, as well as a couple of new faces who've met along the way, which is Evie, played by Bex, and Char, played by Sita. Last episode, you guys had returned to the city known as the Drop, that Vegas-like town of scum and villainy, with the giant 1,000-foot cliff with that huge elevator that overhangs that is able to bring the train that you guys are riding on down that cliff face one car at a time. Having a bit of downtime, you guys had gotten into some trouble at a local bar, met a man who needed a little help. Upon helping him find his son and returning to the city, you realized that the city, while you were gone, has been frozen in time. And the people in the town all seem to be standing still, as if all seem hit with a hold person spell, but on a massive scale. And it looks like while all these folk were frozen in place, some raiders had moved into town to pick over the spoils. You ran into an old friend, Dantes Gerard, who had been squatting in a warehouse, and once he explained that he may have sort of been responsible for the state of the Drop, you guys sort of intimidated him into helping out fix his problem. And now he follows behind you, sort of like a scared dog, as you guys moved into the center of the town. Followed by crows the whole way there as they squawked. Quinn attempt to persuade them to be on their side, but it seems like they had already made a deal with another. And these crows had alerted someone known as Pahidi Bone Taker, a 11-foot tall Minotaur druid figure, who had then given them 10 seconds to leave, and upon the 6th second, all hell broke loose. With her entire retinue dead, her flat on her face in the middle of the thoroughfare, and some of the bandits who had come out to the train to attempt to flank you guys, scared off by Evie and her intimidation. You guys now stand in the middle of the thoroughfare, surrounded by corpses, with crows circling overhead, and the distant sound of retreating footfalls as they disappear to the north of the city.
So, boss, come over here for a second.
Guardian?
Who? What?
Oh. Never heard that before.
I'm gonna push Guardian forward.
I just look at Chuck.
All of a sudden.
Listen, the Hardy Boys are not one boss.
I certainly was not talking
that
about
would
Shar,
be the bosses.
Okay, so I had an idea while we were fighting. I usually get my best ideas during fighting, and so I was thinking, well, I don't know what happened to that guy's son. I know we were supposed to have taken it back with us, but look, if you
It being the son?
Not the son, the guy's son.
No, I
know the guy.
I know. I was just confused why you were referring to a person as it, but
It,
I'm clear now.
You did say it, after all. Did you mean its dead body?
Well, it isn't it now. So, anyway, as you can see, there's quite a few dead people around here now. What if we just took his little body and kind of tucked it in here somewhere, and took whatever we can find, and then start time back in motion, and then we don't have to worry about, explaining how he died and all of that.
Why do you need to lie?
Well, speaking of dead bodies, let's check. Is the bone person actually dead, or is she just face down, taking a nap?
Make a medicine check.
Alrighty, no problem on that one.
Well, he's obviously going to think that we killed his son.
Right.
Because we did.
As I'm talking to Evie, I'm gonna investigate the bone person for clues / goods.
Ooh, natural 20 for a 21.
So, give me your investigation check as well, Quinn.
I'm just saying, I think these guys had the right idea by taking whatever they could.
25.
So, as you both are poring over the body, Chuck, you step up to her. You start feeling into that matted mane of hair deep in this minotaur to try to feel for a pulse. As you can feel a bit of breath coming from the creature as you get close to it. Right as Quinn, you are now digging around too, and you go to snap this necklace off of her neck, and you look up at Chuck, and Chuck looks at you. This person is still alive. They're stable.
Well, let's ask her some questions. Listen, but I don't want to diverge too much from your point, Evie, because I think it's a fair one. I'm gonna vote to support it if we're voting.
By the way,
That's
when do you
my man.
the necklace that you have in your hand, is you about to snap it off, like snap the chain and take it. It is beautiful. It's got a blood red jewel in the center of it, in the shape of a blood drop.
Can I sleight of hand it off so I don't like actually?
Yeah. You can unclasp it from the back if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Potentially heal her.
I don't want to wake her up.
Don't want to
if she's not
accidentally heal
actually
her.
awake. Yeah.
As you pull that necklace off, there's and she just comes from her body as you pull the necklace off.
That didn't seem right. Hey, you awake? No.
With your natural 20 medicine before, that was a death rattle. As you pull whatever this necklace is, as you pull the necklace off, she passed on into the next plane.
Put it back on. Oh wait. Let me.
It's probably magical. I didn't think it was like it.
Don't worry. I'll cast Speak with the Dead.
Perfect. While he's casting Speak with the Dead, I will cast Detect Magic.
Okay, it is definitely magical. It's not, but that's not the identify spell. It's just whether or not it's magical. Also, you notice that that staff that she had is magical as well.
Okay. Well, this has certainly got a glow to it. With Detect Magic, I know what type of magic it is, or the school of magic, right?
Yes, and I believe I may be wrong on this, so don't ding me. I believe the necklace you're holding is the necromancy school, and
it's made out of blueberry cereal.
Yes, actually, it's Count Chocula.
It's just pasta necklace made by a child.
It tastes like dead person. No.
And the interestingly enough, the staff doesn't give a specific school when you pick it up, but it is clearly magical.
Okay. Hey, Evie. You're pretty good with the magic stuff. This is magical. What?
Well, I was talking to the boss, and I was hoping to get a response from him, but hello? And I'm gonna just knock on Guardian's chest. Hello in there!
He's the boss.
Well, of course he's the boss. He's the one that got us all together. Oh my gosh, I knew you were dense, but I did not know you were that dense.
I mean, I wouldn't... We were not really
Woof.
theocracy, whatever you want to call it.
What?
Well,
we were
are you
we're
not all
more of
getting paid for this? Because I am.
Wait, what?
I'm getting paid in experience and friendship.
Oh boy, you're getting ripped off
The
then.
pay was in the friends
Cheers.
we made along the way.
Exposure? I don't need this.
I'll tell you what, this goddamn
sounds
son, I'm
bad.
getting exposure enough. Let's get moving.
There's no
I just-
payment shard. Turns around and gets mad.
I would still like an answer. What do you think about my plan? I think it's a good plan.
I just don't see a reason to lie to him. If we keep to the agreement we found his son, we return the body and we'll get the reward.
I mean, we don't even...
I know you don't
We can
have,
lie
like-
through omission. We don't even have to say... We could just be like, hey, we brought him back. This is the way we found him or something.
If we're going to lie at all, though, then why not to go all the way?
We don't have to lie. We'll tell
Well,
him
we
the
did
truth.
find him that way, but it
We
was
owe him that
unfortunately after we killed him.
Listen,
So
I'm
the
just
order,
trying-
the order went found him alive, killed him, found him dead.
I feel you are all
Just to
making it more
delineate.
complicated than it needs to be. It can
Again,
just-
Evie, I'm with you. Let's just dump the body and
Chuck,
bring
thank you.
him out there.
I mean, you could make up any story that he was here before we got here, that he returned and these bad people killed him, and then but see, here's the other part that I really want to make a point of. They were taking stuff. Let's go find what they were taking and take it ourselves.
God damn it. Sometimes I miss pain. I wish she was...
Did Speak with the Dead just not work, by the way?
I can give you pain.
we got into something else, so I was just letting that happen.
All right.
But no, as you guys are having this conversation, Chuck turns with his pistol, that like blackened metal gun, and just fires a shot directly into the head of Bone Taker, and like the body jerks. It's suffused with this dark arcane energy, and the head snaps over.
I'm gonna turn to everybody and be like, "Don't worry, let's figure out something first. What they're taking? Hey, what were you trying to take?"
Supplies.
Surprise?
No supplies, you idiot.
Some ice? There is no ice around here, as far as I can tell.
All right. What were? What are the effects of that necklace and the staff?
Boss has lost it.
Alive.
Okay. Hey, if we put the necklace back on you, gonna come back to laugh?
It doesn't seem sure.
Huh. Okay.
Hey Chuck, you're here. Why don't you take this? And I like give him the necklace. I'm like, ugh.
I'm gonna put the necklace on her.
You wanna disarm her first.
It's just laying on like her neck, and she's
Bless you.
sprawled out. Does not appear to be bringing her back.
Okay. Well, that wasn't good. I'm gonna take that back. And just slip it in my pocket.
Maybe try attaching it to her. See, like putting the clasp back on. See if that works. But take away her weapon first, so she doesn't like fight back.
Yeah, I'll do that. Anything happen?
You reach around behind her head to put the clasp on. You step back. You kind of kick the staff away from her. Still dead.
All right, she's dead.
How many questions do you get? 5 or 3?
5.
5. Okay.
Anybody else want to ask her anything? It doesn't seem like she likes us, though. Which, to be fair, I can understand. But she's been bested, and I hope she can respect that.
Maybe ask her how many more there are.
Yeah. How many of your gang was there?
Ouch.
Hold on. Let me double check something. I just want to make sure I'm not fucking up the spell.
No, she doesn't have to be truthful.
She doesn't have to be truthful. She can be cryptic.
And can be hostile if she wants.
If she wants.
And she only knows things that she knows during real laugh. Or live and laugh.
So, she, the semblance of life, like deep within this creature that's being like animated outward, is pure fury at this point, as it says, "You'll find out."
Well, that's ominous.
All right. Well, you know what? Your necklace is mine, and have a nice life. And they'll turn back around.
Got her.
I think you meant to say afterlife.
I think death. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it was implied. I think everyone got the joke. The fact that we're all making secondary jokes means that the first one made sense.
I'm going to walk over to Floofy, and I am going to use my smith's tools to.
Okay. You take a minute to put it together.
Are we dropping this body or not?
We can decide later. First, we need to fix this time problem.
Well, no, we should decide now, because once we fix the time problem, we will not want to scramble.
As I'm affixing the staff to my pack, I say, yeah, let's just drop the body. Let's just do it.
We've got a 3 out of 3 votes for dropping the body.
We dress him up, so like it looks like he's part of that gang. And
I'm gonna roll to see if I think the math checks out on 3 out of 3.
Go ahead, make an intelligence check.
Yep. 17.
Using your hands and counting on your fingers,
And your
check out.
toes.
Use your eyes.
All 36 of them.
Alright, I'm just going to say it. He is literally dead weight to us right now, so let us...
I mean, he's in your bag, right? Jeez.
He is not in my bag, no.
Wait.
Where's the body?
Remember, I told you I did not want to take him, so I did not take him. I think, Guardian, you affixed him somehow to the vehicle.
Where's the vehicle?
He's just
And he's
That's
probably
right.
a steaming
bumper.
pile of decomposing flesh right now.
Flashback to like the warehouse on the edge of town, and just on the back of it, lashed to it with rope, is just like a decomposing half-orc corpse.
Oh, well.
Pretty sure that's where
Well,
those
the
crows
crows
went.
got to him. The crows got to him for sure.
So, that is what I'm saying. Is
Well,
that,
looks
you
like
know.
our problem is solved. He's going to look like he's picked to shit by crows. We just
can
blame
you
it on
maybe-
these people.
Can you send Floofy back to like untie him and drag him away from the Blackstone contraption?
How far is it from here at this point?
It's like a 10-minute walk to the far end of town.
Let's
I'll go
go
get
on
it.
time and then drop him off
Okay,
here.
Guardian just turns around and just starts to plod away.
Unfortunately, I did not build Floofy with opposable thumbs, so no.
I mean,
You know.
use her teeth, right? She's a smart.
Floofy just
smart.
stares at Quinn.
There's holes into Quinn.
Is she a dog? What is she? What do you, I mean? How do you? I was about to say she's a smart dog, but I mean, is
You
that
can say that. She is. She is a very
okay?
smart
She's a
dog.
smart dog. There you go. Good Floofy.
Smarter than some people.
All right.
I'm standing.
So
right here.
that brimstony black like wisping magic dissipates from the corpse laying on the ground, and Guardian turns his back and begins. You can see in Guardian's posture his disappointment as he walks to the east to the warehouse at the edge of town that houses the Blackstone scrappers.
All right, guys, let's see what we can loot. Eh?
Wait.
No, I'm not going to support the loot. Don't loot. Come on, Evie.
But and I like pull out my bag of holding. I'm like, it's got like nothing in it. We could put so much in there.
Evie,
You don't know.
when everybody wakes up, they're going to need this.
Wait.
Shar's
talking about
already-
We're talking about looting the dead bodies, right, Evie?
Sure.
What did you say, Char?
Char's already, like, as they're saying this, she's already around picking through the bodies, like, completely disregarding.
Even this one.
Listen, take from the bandit bodies whatever you find on them. But I'm telling you what, if you find something that you think isn't the bandits originally, you got to return it. If it comes up later, all I'm saying, just return it if it comes up. If it ends up being the bandits, they're stinky, they're real rude, and you know what? They kind of got what they deserved. They should have said hey to us.
I got 17 on the investigation.
17. Okay, so from the corpses, you find a combined total. Everybody together, you find a combined total of 200 silver.
Ooh.
In addition to that, you do find a stone fort. You find a few stone fort breachers, which is a long rifle that holds a single shell that you breach open to load. If you want, that's in D&D Beyond. You can add that in too. And then you also do notice that the one of the that dwarf who's wearing that stovepipe hat has that big looking like unwieldy shotgun rifle thing. Looks like a pepper box, but with the barrel extended so long that you need a secondary handle to hold on to the damn thing.
So what would we?
That looks like something I might be into.
It's a pepper box, essentially.
For the case of this, just put it in as a quick draw. I will put the proper stat block together for y'all.
Cool.
That was my mistake. I forgot to do that. I
It's
like, forgot about
200.
that weapon.
200 silver each, right? Was that
No, 200 silver total.
No.
You guys can split.
total? Okay.
Y'all can take my share. It's fine.
Listen.
Yeah. I don't need silver. It's fine.
I saw
I'll
it
take it
first.
then. I will take it.
saw it first.
I mean, it must be nice that you are so rich.
I'll take the gun if you guys want my silver.
I've got the staff, so I'm good.
Listen, I have made my way in this life by taking things of others that have conveniently left them behind. So,
Right, so the word behind is kind of pivotal in that sentence because it's not really behind if they're still here but frozen in time. Because they're not really leaving them behind, they're just leaving them. And
Fine. I still want to look though. I just want to like take a look around, but also I want to search.
I'm gonna case her. I'm just gonna make sure she's not taking anything.
Hardy boys, at it again. Force for goddamn good in this world.
Except
Whatever would make you think that she can't be trusted.
You guys can roll if you want. You guys can roll competing perception versus sleight of hand checks.
For sure.
Yeah, and I'll be picking up. If I pick up anything, it'll be like scrap components or things like that to help me make stuff. Like even if it's I don't know, like pieces of wood or like broken broom handles or things like that. Like things
Okay, you want to find like
things that Quinn would think are insignificant. Basically.
okay, okay.
And Shar will be picking up ammo to
Okay.
carve runes onto, and also stuff to repair the turret too.
You probably have some of that scrap material that you to repair the turret. But as far as ammunition, you do find they're all wearing bandoliers for their weapons, so you do find 30 total ammunition from the people who are in this area.
I'm also keeping an eye out for the tome, whatever the time-stopping tome.
Okay.
As I'm looking around, even though.
As you're looking around, you're looking for it. It does not appear to be in this area. You don't find any books of any nature out here. A lot of what you see is just the sort of weather-stripped wood and stone of the outer parts of these buildings, like the creaking boardwalk that's been so scoured by the grit and sand it's almost worn completely smooth. You find boxes and barrels, and a good portion of the stuff out here has already been picked over, it looks like. Anything that was left out may have been picked up by this crew and moved elsewhere. You are currently on the south side of the tracks, moving into that portion of those low, crowded buildings, while the rest of you are still sort of picking over the main area.
Is Dantes with us?
Dantes is with you guys, and he's been quiet as a mouse since the shooting started.
Yeah.
Dantes, you remember where you were when you lost this thing?
Yeah, I do. Is anyone concerned about the other bandits, or?
If they come back, then we'll be concerned with them, but only momentarily.
Dantes, what if you just stand right here in the middle of all of this carnage, and if anybody comes by, you say, "You want to mess with me, buddies?"
I can try that. Do you want to mess with me, buddies?
That's perfect. That'll be
That was excellent.
Shaking in my
I was
boots.
actually like, it made my heart skip a beat.
Really scary.
Yeah.
Deception check.
Group deception check. Oh, natural 1 for Evie.
Natural
It's an
3.
11 for old Chuck.
Oh wait, I get advantage on deception. 10.
Char?
21.
Oh, okay. Guardian, you're not there, right?
No.
Oh,
you're
sorry,
actually-
I had a natural 1 minus 1.
You see Dante's face just like go expressionless as you realize you guys are all mocking him. Blind to his face. He puts his head down for a second and he's just like, I think I'll take my chances with you people.
All right. Well,
you're
Char,
more
you're
than
already-
welcome to-
you're on your Guardian. You're on your way back, by the way. What did you say, Sito?
That's nothing. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're more than
come on,
welcome
yeah.
to be with us, Dantes. Do you think maybe you could like lift a finger at some point, though? I mean, I noticed in that last fight you kind of just hung out behind that barrel.
Yeah, I sort of panicked. I'm sorry.
I mean,
He may come in handy with the tome.
I thought you
know?
aren't you a
maybe
magic
his
user or something?
I dabble a little bit. I'm not,
Does-
Go ahead.
Does this look like really the fighting type to you? I don't think he's that kind
his
of.
weapon is his brain, and I respect that.
we need the tone.
All right, fine. It's on the south end of the city towards the wall. I'll take you there.
Yep, and you're not allowed to touch it. Just as a heads up.
Yeah, I sort of figured that.
I promise you, bullets travel faster than however fast you think your hands are.
You can stop threatening me. I'm not going to take the book.
I'm already terrified.
Well, off we go.
I think I'm gonna have to
As
change
for good
our
measure, Chuck pulls down the Orcus war mask.
I think I'm gonna have to change the tags on Twitch from neutral characters to evil characters at some point.
Yeah.
Because we are borderline at this point.
Oh, come on. Listen, I'm letting him. I'm giving him the parameters. I'm not telling him what I'll do just cause. I'm not lying to him. I'm saying these are the boundaries, and I highly recommend you stay within them.
I am not stealing everything in sight.
You're stealing everything out of sight. That's the issue.
That makes me good, right?
Only what's useful.
Evie has no idea what the word integrity means. Just as long as someone doesn't see you doing something evil, it's not evil.
I've seen it written in a book before, but I don't know what it means.
All right,
so
let's start heading south.
You guys are moving to the south end of the city, and if you remember from before when you first started to move to this part of the city, the buildings here are low and crowded and stacked on top of each other in sort of leaning. Some are leaning this way, some are leaning that. There are cables wound through this whole part of the city haphazardly as it's providing the magical alchemical equivalent to electricity to some of the nicer buildings in this part of town. As you can see, there's a bit of a warm glow coming from some of the buildings. Sitting at the back of this favela's twisted maze of ramshackle structures is Dante's Motel. It's a squat and sad building with a tired lean. The outside is deathly quiet. Crows still sit on the eaves of all the buildings, though they avoid sitting on the rudimentary power lines that snake through the lower drop. Stay tall, squat, sad building that sort of leans to one side.
It's Dante's Hotel, like not our Dante's, but it's called.
No, it
Dante's.
is. I mean, it's not called the Dante's Hotel. It's the hotel that he was staying, or the motel that he was staying at. As he sort of gestures, just like a. It is. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, so I don't know what we're going to find inside.
What room were you in when all this went down?
I was in the last room on the left.
All right, in we go.
Well, we could actually send Floofy in first again, just to be on the safe side. We do not know what is inside, and unless you have some kind of X-ray vision, I don't know that that's maybe a good idea. Just a thought. Or we can go charging, and I'm good with that too.
All right, send the dog in. I don't care.
Floofy begins to trot up. Can't really open the door.
I'm gonna kick the door in.
You kick the door in. Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw.
No problem. It's a 22.
Okay.
Don't worry, dog. I got this. And then I'll kick in the door.
Hey Seb, is the game still paused?
It is.
Oh, okay.
I paused it. So as you smash in the door, because you see Floofy like scratching at the door. So you're just like, fuck it. You kick it in. As you do, you hear and you see a wire go out straight in front of you, where there's a cloud maker sitting on the table with a hair trigger.
That ain't good.
Drop to the ground. There's a blast of shotgun shell, like buckshot, over your shoulder, winging you in part of the chest. As you hit the ground with a bunch of smoking holes in your shoulder, you only take half damage, which is 8 points of damage.
Some bitch. It's more than I took in the entire last battle.
The twin barrels of the Cloudmaker are just smoking as it sits on the front of the table that's been pushed into the center of the room.
Traps disarmed. Don't worry, folks.
Dante's goes, that's new.
Yeah, let's send the dog in.
Charles, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Are you
Had
sure?
worse.
Because I can help you with that if that's okay. I mean.
All right, yeah. I mean, whatever you want to do.
Okay. I'll pull out this thing that looks like it basically looks like a stim injector, and it's got a little
Okay.
needle, and it just into his shoulder,
Some
and then it
bitch.
begins to heal.
It does 1 point of piercing, but it does 10 points of healing.
Yeah, it hurts, but then it heals.
How much?
1 second.
The needle is absurdly large for no reason.
It is, and it looks
Foundry?
rusty. It looks rusty.
Does
What's
anyone
up?
see any-
You have
tetanus.
tetanus.
Yeah.
What would you say, Autumn?
I don't see anything in Foundry. I'm just getting a gray screen.
Okay.
I see the
You guys don't.
map.
You don't see the map?
I see
see
the
the
map. Yeah.
I see it.
I know.
That's odd, man.
1d8 plus your spell.
Try refreshing, maybe.
I just did.
I don't even see you in here, man.
I don't have a d8.
Yeah, Autumn
he's
is not
not
in
here.
here.
That's weird. I see everybody in the players list and everything.
It's fine. I mean, you only are running the overlay, so it's not like you need to see anything that's happening on any of the maps.
It's, you know.
More like the
that-
opposite of that.
10 points of healing to you, my friend.
Hey!
Yeah, this is a nice little gadget that comes in handy from time to time. I thought of it because I'm not real good with medicine and healing, and so I was like, well, maybe I have to come up with something that can get me through some rough patches, and it was very simple. I'm just gonna keep talking about.
You guys, as you all filter into this, I assume everybody's going inside, right?
Now that
What?
the trap's been expertly disarmed, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What
As
was
you
the
all begin
situation
to-
with the body? Like, did
Oh,
I
yeah.
just drop it off?
Oh yeah. Did you take the body and just drop it in the thoroughfare in that
Whoa.
main area?
What was the plan?
Yeah. What was
Yeah,
the
that
plan?
was the plan.
Nobody
Yeah,
told him.
what was the plan? I had a plan. Nobody wanted to do my plan.
No, Evie
I
said
know,
to
just
the train
walked
in the thoroughfare.
Yeah,
You get
I was
back
all
to the-
believing him.
You guys,
Guardian gets there and
Guardian,
realizes-
yeah, he
Yeah.
gets there and there's nobody's there, and he just has the
He's-
body over his shoulder. Motherfucker!
He's so used to everybody else making the decisions. Make a decision, man.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, Guardian, and then you see their tracks leading off into the back of the city. You see basically the swish of Char's long coat disappear around a corner as you're just getting back to the train station.
Body off and follow the tracks.
Body collapses to the ground.
Yep.
What's up?
What's the state of the body, by the way?
This looks pretty picked over, actually. You had to shoo away some crows when you first got to it.
Do you
What's
see
up?
me in the campaign now? Am I there?
No.
No.
Negatory.
This is the same link that we've been using, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but I'll send you a new one just in case.
Yeah,
I'll
I
DM
opened
it
a
to
new
you.
window and everything, so I don't know what's technical
Any-
difficulties.
Anything change with your permissions?
Nope. I did have a nice crash during my stream last night, though, so maybe that has something to do with it. 'Cause
Maybe.
computers.
So as you guys crowd into this very cramped small motel, it's kind of hard to tell whether or not it was really ransacked or not. The meager furniture in the room is pushed into a far corner and stacked, though there's a fine film of dust on the surface. The innkeeper, a bedraggled... What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I lost my place. The innkeeper, a bedraggled green dragonborn, sits frozen behind the counter, gray sheet in her long reptilian hands.
Did you say a gray sheet?
Gray sheet, like a newspaper.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Hello?
Does not respond.
She looked frozen as well.
Does appear to be frozen. What were you saying, Autumn?
You sent me the local, not the actual internet one.
I'm going to casually walk around the back of the desk and start opening drawers.
Hey, come on, Evie.
What?
Look for a key if you're looking back there, and don't take anything
I
else.
am looking for a key.
Make an investigation check.
I'm
Now
gonna help her and make
looking
sure
for
she
a
didn't
key.
take anything else.
Eyes on me everywhere.
Give me a
Oh.
perception check. You can roll with advantage, Evie, but also give me a perception check from Guardian. As you can feel the judgment of this 7-foot metal man behind you.
Natural 20.
So 19 plus 12 is 29.
Wow, that's a hell of a search. You find a ring of keys back here that appears to be the motel room, the motel keys in the desk that she's sitting at. You also find some odds and ends and creature comforts. You also do find a couple of silver banknotes. So you find about 15 silver banknotes, which is just 15 gold, 15 silver, and there's some other random odds and ends. There's like a nail clipper, a stone that appears to, when you shake it, it casts a little like a minor image above it for a brief second, like a
What is
little
the
fidget
image?
cube. It changes each time you shake it. Do you read
like a magic 8-ball?
Do you read Draconic?
I don't think so. No.
I casually
I
walk
don't.
past. I read Draconic, and I just
The whatever the language is very small. So give me a perception check.
11.
11. You can't quite catch it, but Evie, every time you shake it, the message changes. Each
That's
time
cool.
you shake it.
Ooh, this is fun.
What is that, Evie?
Put that back.
That's none of your business.
It's not yours either.
Oh, come on. It's probably nothing. It looked like a toy for a child.
It might be sentimental.
Fine.
You got the
Set it
keys.
down.
Let's go.
But I would also like to sleight of hand it back.
All right,
After
it's gonna
everybody-
be. Okay, that's fine. Give me a sleight of hand check. It's gonna be versus Guardian's passive. Well, here's the thing. Guardian is watching you, so I'm gonna consider this his passive +5 because that would be advantage basically. So what's your passive, Guardian?
10.
10. So 15 is the DC for your sleight of hand.
It's a 27.
Okay. So as Guardian, you drop it back down to the desk. As Guardian turns, you just drop it back in. Keep moving. This area is not large, by the way. And Guardian, you have to duck a bit through the main hallway that goes back, and you notice there's 3 doors. It's split into a horseshoe shape. You guys are on the left, where Dantes is leading you guys, and he begins walking towards the back of the last room on the left. As you're all walking through here, I need everyone to make a charisma saving throw.
Oof.
Oof.
Like this.
-1.
Charisma.
-1.
Oof.
Ooh.
Not bad.
Mighty
20.
natural 1.
12.
Oh, our charisma guy got a nat 1.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Still like a 30, so.
No, it's 9.
I
Okay,
got
so let's start.
an
I'm gonna start. Okay, you have an 8.
18.
Quinn, you have
18. I didn't
18.
finish. It was
Quinn.
18, yeah.
12.
12. Chuck, you got a
9.
Cito.
Not 20.
Char, not 20. And from you, Guardian.
17.
Okay. So
Right?
What's going on in this hotel?
Yeah.
So Dantes is. Oh, actually, you have to roll for Dantes as well.
Do you have to roll for Floofy?
Oh.
Oh yeah, you should roll for Floofy
I don't
if Floofy's in here with you.
know if.
Construct?
No.
Uh-oh. This changes the story a little bit.
Immune to charmed, exhaustion, poison.
It's not a charm, exhaustion, or poison effect.
Okay. Thanks, Guardian, for bringing that up.
Is it one of those
Uh,
effects that if you fail, it means you're really cool?
Yes. You just suddenly inexplicably feel colder.
Floofy got
Chuck's
an
wearing
18
sunglasses.
as well.
So as you guys are walking, and Dantes is walking with you guys. He's a few steps in front of you all, and he's like, "I think it's just pals."
Oh, no.
Oh.
And he's like kind of as a like slow drone as his voice continues, and he is like slowing to the point of imperceptibility. And as Evie, Evie, Char, and Guardian are like, "What is happening?" They turn back, and both Chuck and Quinn are their steps are slowing. Their eyes slowly panning and turning and sort of looking towards each other, confused. And they cease to move.
Our hardy
great.
boys. Oh no.
The tome has affected them as well.
What just happened?
Okay. I'm going to look around to try and see if there's any sort of source for this magic that's in here.
You guys are not at the end of the hallway yet. He was walking towards the end of the hallway, and as he was turning the corner, Dantes, he began to slow as he was speaking, and so you can see the door that he was walking into is as he turned the corner. The door that he was walking into was open.
So do I see like a is there any kind of like a field or anything that he walked into, or is that completely imperceptible to me?
Does not appear to be perceptible. Whatever caused this effect for him to slow, it appears to be invisible to the naked eye.
And Quinn and Chuck were behind us, right?
They were, and you guys all felt like a wave passed through you all. And then as Dantes was walking, he began to slow, and as you guys turned around, you noticed that both Chuck and Quinn slowed behind you as well. Interesting point of note from the perspective of both Quinn and Chuck. You see Guardian, Evie, and Char like zip away, like they just like disappear around the corner.
Did you see that?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, I mean you guys are just in a different time basically, so you guys can kind of talk to each other, but it's going to happen over the course of years.
Cool.
So
yeah, that was weird.
okay, so
century.
Evie, Char, and Guardian, what are you guys doing? Char, did you want to walk around the corner? Evie, you were talking about going around the corner.
No, not anymore.
Okay, okay, fair.
Okay, what I would like to do is I'm going to reach into my pack, and I'm going to pull out a little it looks like a little spider.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all metallic. It's got like cogs and wheels and things like that. And I'm going to cast Tiny Servant.
Okay.
And bring this little creature to life. And I'm going to say, "Listen, boss, this is not good. I've got this little guy, and he can maybe go investigate for us. But if we lose him, it won't hurt anybody." So I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to say, "Go investigate around the corner."
Legs.
Do it.
Oh, can you guys hear my sound effects, by the way? Because I know I get muted by Discord.
Sound
I don't know,
effects?
do a sound
Can you hear?
Yeah, a little bit.
Can you
Barely.
hear?
Barely.
All right, let me turn it off real quick because I got to do my skittering sound effects. They're my favorite part of this whole process. Let me see.
You
Voice
play
video.
D&D for skittering sound effects?
You don't? Forgive me, friends. It's in voice and video, right? Noise suppression.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I apologize in advance if you start hearing other things around me a bit more. But I noticed last time when we were playing, I was doing all these sound effects stuff and it kept canceling me out. So I'd be like, and someone goes like, it's like flipping out.
90s
Is he
kung
okay?
fu movie.
Exactly. So the skittering, as it around the corner, and then skitters back over.
Back to me?
Back to you.
Okay.
And then kind of looks and goes back in. Seems to be moving freely through the space.
Well?
I'll send Floofy next.
Okay. What was Floofy's save, by the way? I'm assuming...
It was
saved?
18.
18. Okay,
Yeah.
totally fine. Floofy kind of gives a look at you, and then begins
Come on,
to
girl. It's okay.
pad in, kind of slowly, the soft sound of like the hydraulic as she moves in, and then disappears around the corner. You hear a whimper.
And then nothing?
And then she doesn't come back around the corner.
I look at Guardian.
What does that mean?
I think that if the time stopping wave went out and hit us, like, and we're still moving, we should be okay to go in. Yes.
Yeah,
But
why
it
don't
also
you
hit
go check it
Floofy.
out, Char. As I back away a little bit for
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
I mean,
there a window into that room?
You don't know. You don't see a window from the inside.
Well, what's the layout of the building on the outside?
You had only kind of seen it from the front. You hadn't gone around the back at all, and this room is towards the back. From the outside, it looked like there were windows on the front, but they were shuttered, and this building had sort of a very rough exterior, sort of like it had been hastily built and not maintained. So, would it have a lot of? Would this be the kind of place that would spare the expense to make sure all the tenants have windows? Hard to say.
Fair.
I'm going to remember the crows not landing on those power lines, and I am going to make an educated guess that maybe those power lines are powering something in here. I'm going to send the tiny servant down to find a power line and cut the power line and see if it changes anything for us in here.
Cut the power line to the building.
Right.
Okay. So there were a couple of lazy looking, low energy incandescent bulbs that filled this area. You do notice across the floor there are a couple of wires that run into the room, though there seem to be wires that run into each room. And as you commanded the same tiny servant?
Mm-hmm. It lasts for 8 hours.
Okay. So, and how much damage does it do on its attack?
1d4 plus 3 bludgeoning.
Okay, go ahead and roll that damage. As it disappears around the corner. 5. Okay, so. You hear and like a small pop, and all the lights in the area go down, as well as a light emanating from inside the room. The tiny servant takes 19 damage.
Oh, it's dead.
Yeah, I figured as much. Into a metallic mist.
As
Fine dust.
I click
Ploofy.
on the dark vision, I go, well, I guess it worked.
Seems to have done something.
How dark
At
is
this
it?
point,
It's daytime. There's a little bit of light filtering in through the windows in the front, through the cracks of the shutters, but it's fairly dark in here.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go take a look.
Okay.
I'm gonna go see if I can peek around the corner.
Okay. You walk around the corner. You just want to peek around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. As you begin to peek around the corner, the first thing you see is Floofy, looking across the room at a book that is floating in the center of the room, and it's joined by a small table and like a lumpy straw-filled bed. These all hover a few feet off the ground, suspended in time and space. Though this is not the strangest sight in the room, which is reserved for the basketball-sized organic eyeball, encased in a whirring sphere of twisting metallic bonds. Hundreds of smaller spheres of various sizes spin in tight orbits around the central eye, which stares unblinking at the object in the center of the room. It notices you as you enter. The eyeball is looking at the book, which you see. It turns into a jumble of stones with runes on it, and then turns into a scroll, and then turns back into a book, and then turns into a schematic, and then turns into a bunch of ammo, and then turns into a stone, and then back into a book again. It appears to be like quivering in the air and destabilizing. It's almost got like a blur to it.
Oh, that's new. I don't think I've seen anything like that before.
Shar's head explodes.
I turn around and I say, Evie, your dog seems to have found something interesting in there. Do you want to come take a look?
I will slowly peek my head around the corner.
You see the room, and you see there's that bit of that metallic mist still kind of hangs in the air and is falling slowly to the ground as you see the wires that were running across the bottom of the room that are kind of sloppily plugged into what looks like a metal band on the ground with a chunk of planar constant in the center. Above that, floating about 3 feet off the ground, is the book that is now, you see, turns into a schema and turns into components, turns back into a book, and it's shifting and quivering in the center of the room. And behind that, you see this basketball-sized eye with these big metal bands around it that are whirling and turning around it like an astrolabe.
What's a constant? What did you say? A constant?
Planar constant?
Planar constant.
Yeah.
It is give me an Arcana check. 16. You haven't come into contact with it personally, but you do know that it's important to some of the more esoteric and strange technology out on the frontier. You know it's highly, highly valuable. You also know it's highly volatile. It looks to be a pink swirling starburst of a crystal that is down towards the ground and appears to be hovering of its own accord in addition to the book. As you guys are peeking around this corner, the eye is looking at both of you, but it makes no hostile move towards you.
What do you see?
You think it sees us?
Yes, I think it can probably see us. Guardian, it is unlike anything I have seen before. I'm not quite sure what it is. But it's probably... We need to be careful with it.
You guys hear that?
Yeah, your entire camera shifted.
Your background is adorable too. Cats running around.
They're insane, man. They do this all day long. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I make an investigation, or not an investigation check, but like an intelligence check to see if I understand how things are working in this room?
Yes, you can. You go ahead and make an Arcana check to understand what this mechanism is intending to do.
19.
19. You can tell...
I'm sorry. Arcana. 27. Actually, I forgot to add my...
That's a big difference. This is
Oh my
this is clearly a kind of ritual. You can see now that you're closer into the room, you can see there are bands of powdered crystal and metallic dust that's been pushed out in runes in a circle around this central metal dais, or this metal band with the planar constant in the center. You can see there are a bunch of wires that ran from the rest of the. Actually, one of the wires runs right from the other room into this one. It's a thicker cable, like it's like a main power supply that's been splayed and frayed open so that it can power into different parts of this arcane rune that's painted on, or that's been powdered onto the ground with this with a combination of crystal and metal fillings. This is clearly it sort of looks to you like a teleportation circle in its arrangement, but you've never seen these runes before.
I'm going to just kind of drawing out what I see in the room to try and better understand it and work it out in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And
as you're sketching the entity across the room, you hear a voice in your head that says, "Stop that. This is forbidden."
I will immediately stop sketching. But I also want to know if I made the connection that by cutting the power, if that affected anything in the room.
It does appear to have affected something, but you're not quite sure yet
exactly
what
it
yet.
is,
Yeah.
Okay.
But you said also that there was a line that went into what appears to be a power generator, like another.
It looks like it ran from like it's the cables that were powering the electricity in this area had been pilfered from other rooms and run into this to draw more power.
Okay, and those
it's kind of like they all look to be deactivated.
Okay.
From what Evie's little robot did.
Can I try to mentally respond to it and say, who are you?
I am entity Korut, inevitable of time and space.
Do we all hear this, or is it just Evie?
You guys all do hear this, and it echoes through your minds. Additionally, with the power cut and with the proximity that you guys have, both Chuck and Quinn begin to speed up as you guys are like begin to move a bit as your friends zip past you, and then you catch yourselves and you're back in. But you're like a good 10 feet back as they've all. It just from your perspective, it just seems like you guys were walking, and then everybody just went and like teleported forward 10 feet at like lightning speed.
Yeah, that was really weird. I don't know what that was about.
Does Shar recognize that name? Anything about?
Ooh, this is a DC 28 Arcana check.
I can roll for it instead if you want.
Yeah,
I could try.
Yeah. No.
If you're proficient in Arcana, you can attempt this check. But this
I am, but yeah.
Can I help him out, or should we both roll separately for this?
Up to you guys. You can make it a group check, or you can make it, or one person can do it with advantage.
I have
Eva, you know anything about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are smart in this stuff.
Smart in
give it
this
a try.
stuff.
I'll flip through my notes and see if I can find anything.
Frantically, as this giant eyeball is just boring into you as you're flipping through your notes.
I don't quite like the way that
I
thing
just
is
want to
looking.
kind of peek in at what's going on. I don't want to because it's there's like a. Are they standing in the doorway?
Seems like they're all standing in the doorway. It's getting pretty crowded in the doorway.
I'm just gonna kind of stand back and try and get a look.
Okay, you can't even quite get a look in there necessarily from where it is because you have Guardian in the door, you have Evie, and you have Char all packed into the doorway with Floofy only 5 feet in the doorway, and Floofy is sitting on the ground and staring at this entity.
25.
Oof, so close.
25. So you a 25 is still really high. It's not quite enough to get all the information about it, but you do know of extraplanar entities from a plane of law that people speak of in hushed tones. A lot of times they attempt to stop. There's tales of like great mages and great wizards and entities of power being completely undone by these creatures that have just appeared out of nowhere and undone the damage that these powerful beings had done. But let me see, Chuck and Guardy. No, wait. That was a one shot, so nobody in this group was part of that group. So you guys actually wouldn't know. Never mind. It's a cousin to a creature that you guys that some of your other characters have met in a different campaign.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so joke's on you.
Okay.
Nothing
Okay.
to that. It's a goldfish brain. In
Okay,
one point
okay.
a year and out another.
Go ahead.
Wait, you're Jorbus's cousin?
You know Jorbus.
We know that guy. Okay, so I'll relay some of that information. Oh, first of all, I'll be like, did you guys hear that too?
I heard a voice, yeah.
Yep.
Listen,
Sure did. I'm moving again.
everybody huddle up for a quick little chat here. These things, from what I remember, they basically want to fix or right a wrong. They are, I suppose, morally aligned. They.
Oh, you better not talk to it then.
No, that's perfect. We're fine. It's going to step in and fix it for us.
Fix. Well, no. You see, I think it's stopping time because there's maybe lots of bad stuff that happens here at the drop, and it's maybe trying to.
Wait, did it come from the book? I don't understand what's going on.
I think it's passing judgment on everyone. Is really what I think it's doing. It's a judgy entity.
Well, Evie, maybe you should talk to it. You might have a lot in common.
Ooh.
I thought we were friends, Charles.
Wait, are you saying
She's so betrayed.
Oh, Evie, if you can't take a bit of ribbon, that's on you.
This judgment is frozen time. Can we intimidate it to go away? No, probably not. I mean, I don't.
Look, I don't mean to muddy this up, but I don't think this entity stopped time. I think. I think the book stopped the time.
That was what I thought too.
I'm with Dante. Hey, Mr. Machine Man, I'm Charles. Chuck, what's your name?
Are you talking to the entity?
Yeah.
The eye shifts to you. You can feel it peering through your soul.
If I weren't so dumb, I'd probably be afraid.
Charles, Logan, pact touched. This entity is Karut,
Do we hear
inevitable
this too?
of time and space. You all hear it. It resonates through everyone's head.
Karut, are you here to fix the frozen time? Is that what you're here for?
Its eye shifts to the book, and it says, "I'm here to mend this wound."
Can we help?
Is there something we can do to facilitate this?
That sounds a lot like what I just said.
Do
I just-
not,
Party boys.
do not interfere, and give me that one. As the eye shifts to Dantes, Dantes is like, he just lets out a like,
Well, that's that.
push him into the room.
Grab him by the collar.
How do we feel about? Hey, wait! Before I hand this
Call
guy
for you.
over, what are you gonna do with him?
I will take him back to judgment. He will be rectified.
Oh,
Yeah, rectified. Happened to a lot of people in prison.
Yeah.
that's-
I think you can get that done here, actually, at the drop.
Yeah, there's a lot of great places for getting
For a nominal
rectified.
fee.
Wrecked him, damn near killed him.
In fact, you guys are all just like ripping on this like extra planar fucking thing.
No. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm being rude.
I'm an exploding eye, and you're all just like, "Hey, fucking butt sex, am I right?"
Just delivering standard material to this thing.
How about this, compadre? Normally, for where I come from, you help do justice. It's a bounty, and normally there's some sort of tete-a-tete, if you will. Little this for a little that. Quid pro quo.
Didn't we just talk about that?
Yeah, tit for tat.
Wrecked him.
The law of the universe does not require deals. The law has been broken. I will mend that law.
Roll real quick for intelligence, just for my own sake. Oh fuck, 18. Listen, Newton's second law of dynamics states for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. That's a deal if I ever heard it.
Who's
So I'll
this
tell you
dude?
what, I'm gonna give you this, and you give me something.
Make a persuasion attempt, but I'm telling you right now, this creature, it has evolved beyond the need for a brain.
Yeah, well, I guess I have too. I'm assuming that's why I think the way that I do.
No, you've evolved in spite of the lack of a brain, whereas this creature has transcended its need.
Yeah, well, I don't need this as a 14.
It shifts to Dantes. It shifts to
There you
you.
Yes.
As you guys kind of push him out into the room a little bit, it kind of gives there's a weird break in its solemn sort of hovering intelligence, and it says, "Disruptor entity Mostid. Though his intentions are unknown to me, his methods are restricted and must be rectified." And with that, there's a brilliant flash in the room. That's a natural 2 from Dantes on his charisma saving throw. There's a blinding flash, and as you guys come to, the room looks like there was an explosion in it. The constant is gone, the book is gone, and Dantes is gone. The entity has vanished, and the walls of this room are scoured black.
oh.
Ugh. Remind me not to have my dark vision on the next time something like that
Yeah,
happens.
that did definitely not feel good.
You guys hear a and it's around the corner. A scrawny looking green dragonborn is like, "What the hell is this?
That's what we're wondering.
Yeah.
How the hell did you people get in here?"
But this was our friend's room. We were coming to see him, and then all of a sudden, you're here now.
What friend?
His name was Dantes.
The guy who was staying here before?
Yeah, what? Short, brown hair, kind of weird, funny accent.
Yeah, have you seen him?
Yeah, squirrely.
Well, I mean, I just checked him in 15 minutes ago.
Well,
Wait,
he must have gone
what
out
the
for
hell
some-
happened? It's just starting to look around the corner, and there's like a bit of a black smoke drifting out of the room.
Yeah, my cloak is kind of covering.
That's what we're
leaning
wondering.
against the door.
Yeah, I mean, we just came up here, and all of a sudden, this is what we saw. I mean, we walked right past you. You must have missed us.
I'm about to ring for the constable.
Good.
Begins to
We would
start
like to know
taking
what is
steps
going on
back.
here too.
Moves to the desk. On it is a
right as he
pile
leaves,
of-
I'm gonna whisper, "Let's book it."
Cheese it.
What are you guys doing? This room, by the way, does not appear to have none of these rooms appear to have windows. They appear to be closed off. So you guys are at the end. Basically, you're at the end of a hallway. There is a door at the end of the hallway that's a washroom. So this washroom does have a window, a raised window, bathtub in the center, a wash basin, not running water, but at least an area where you can try to get clean.
Do we
If you
insist
were
on
to-
us?
No, I'm just giving you options if you do try to book it out the back. That's all.
I say we take a quick look around and then try to quick look around at
Around
the
the room?
room here. Yeah.
Okay,
see
yeah.
if-
Let's do a quick look and see if we can find anything.
Guardian, maybe follow her down there to smooth things over. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's people like you, Guardian.
What do you mean, people like?
I
me?
got this.
Yeah.
That's
racist.
That's what I was trying to enjoy. Fuck that shit.
Guardian, let's go.
And follow Chuck.
Okay. As you guys are pushing out into the main room, and you guys are casing the room. Let's take a quick break and grab some grub, and we'll come back in 15 minutes at 12:30.
Sounds good.
All right, right on, guys. We'll talk to you all in a couple of minutes. Oh. Hey, everybody. All right. We got some grub. I got some tea because my voice is killing me. Before we hop in for realsies and we figure out what's happening here in this city, now that these guys have stopped the stop of time, we'll get a brief message from our sponsor, Dan.
Oh, yeah, Dan is not the sponsor. Which should be clarified. This is on the copy. This week's episode is brought to you by Neil's Shoes. You can legally go into anybody this weekend only. You can legally go into anybody who's named Neil and just steal their shoes. So you got to do it this weekend. Otherwise, it will be constituted as a crime. But up until Sunday, the 31st, just steal a pair of shoes from a guy named Neil.
It's
or
like
a woman named
Purge.
Neil. I mean, anybody named Neil. It is Purge-esque.
Yeah, Purge Light.
I don't think that's our sponsor. I'm pretty sure that's not a sponsorship.
What's not?
Can we still do it though?
It's
even
on my
though-
sheet.
I think it might be spam.
Okay,
Yeah,
but I guess
I'm pretty sure that's spam. Did you print up the wrong thing?
I might have printed up the wrong thing.
well, you know what? We'll figure this out on our end. But in the meantime, we of course would like to also thank Autumn's sponsors: Nintendo, Disney, Microsoft, and also GameStop.
Yeah.
New sponsors.
GameStop.
Now they have all that extra money.
Yeah. Actually,
Honestly,
my
just
sponsor
to be
is,
safe-
my sponsor this week is Dogecoin. So
Just to be safe, you should steal a pair of shoes from someone named Neil, just in case they didn't print the wrong thing.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out on something like that.
we
Yeah, you don't
don't,
want to miss
we
out.
don't encourage stealing or anything like that.
Any other weekend, we wouldn't.
I
Absolutely.
don't encourage it, but I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah, we don't necessarily encourage it ourselves, but we are going to do it, and we'd like to see you there.
And we do also encourage people not needing the encouragement of others. So
Yes.
take what you will from this. Make up your own decisions.
Right.
I think we should play some D&D and not.
Yeah,
steal.
let's do D&D? All right, we can listen to D&D. So, as you guys were both Guardian and Chuck, you guys are moving out of the back of that room, while I believe Quinn, Evie, and Char were all casing the inside of that room, right? Okay, you guys can give me a group investigation check.
Um, 20 dirty.
22.
13.
13. Okay, majority wins. You guys are pouring through this room. You find bits of bent metal and electrical tubing. You can take that. It's 15 gold worth of metal scrap. With a 22, far in the corner of the room that looks like it was displaced by the explosion, you do find that planar constant.
Yoink.
Who with the 22 though?
Me.
You did?
Me.
You guys both did? Okay.
No, I didn't 20. Look at
Okay.
doesn't look.
It's not.
All right. So you have that planar constant now.
Amazing.
As you go to put it in the bag, it
I wanna-
gets exceedingly hot.
Can I try to put it in a little vial, or how is it? What's the property of it? Is it chunk?
It's hard. It's a chunk. It's like cloud crystal, but in a specific shape. It's like a starburst of crystal. It radiates out in all directions. Here, let me draw it on the board for you real quick, just so you can get a good idea of sort of the shape of it. Imagine.
All the people.
What's that?
Imagine all the people.
It's a starburst, so it looks like this.
I thought the candy at first, but this makes a lot more sense.
Immediately try to smash it with a hammer. Just kidding.
It's an everlasting gobs.
Roll on the table.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like this. But imagine that in 3 dimensions. So it's very spiky. It's almost like a spike ball with all these little things on it. But it's of a pinkish white crystal that, as you look closely at it, has this swirling sort of property on the inside of it. Has a faint glow to it as well as you're holding it. And while you guys are figuring that out, both Chuck and Guardian, you guys move into the main area, and you can see that skinny green dragonborn. As you guys walk into the room, she quickly puts her hand down.
Maybe we don't call the constable.
I already did. They're on their way. She takes a
Can I roll for insight?
Go ahead, roll for insight.
See if they're bluffing. Jesus Christ, 11. I'm rolling like trash tonight.
Hard to tell. It's hard to read her face.
Can I also
All
roll
right.
for insight?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Well,
Get out.
on our way. Hey, everybody.
We should probably.
Oh wait, I forgot that I can
We should
re-roll
burn
with the
shit
fucking
down.
mask. Wait. I could. I didn't roll for intimidation. Actually, never mind. Sorry, I'm a
Okay.
fucking moron.
Okay.
As we pass her, come down the stairs. I think, right?
I see.
I will pull out her keys, her key ring, and be like, you dropped this up there. So anyway, I wanted you to have this back.
You like drop it on the table, and she looks to the keys and looks to you and is like, "Fuck." And you guys are all
Have
kind of,
a
you're all kind of
lovely
walking out.
day.
Good seeing you.
See you later.
Good
So
luck with
the door
police.
closes behind you guys. As oh, it's interesting. You guys are now in the southwestern end of the city of the drop. The wind is howling as you guys move into the space. So let me throw on some howling wind.
Spooky.
Are the crows
Can you do the
still
sound
there?
effects yourself?
Crows are gone.
Oh, thank God.
Crows are all gone.
Gods.
Those
What
crows.
a weird couple of hours.
I was just thinking that, Chuck. It's
Yes,
been a weird
hours.
couple of hours.
Those str-
Hey, Evie, about what I said about you being judgmental earlier. You know that was just a joke, right?
Oh yes, of course. It is fine. I don't care. People have called me much worse. Fine.
Yeah.
like what?
I don't know, Quinn. Do you want to try something yourself and see what happened?
Well, no, I was just wondering, like.
Okay, so
All right.
What's the highest passive perception in the group?
Perception?
15.
16?
All right. No need to one up.
passive perception.
This group is so fucking hostile to each other. It's amazing.
I do think that the Shadows over Marn campaign sometimes does bleed over, where like, I don't trust anybody.
Playing the wrong character.
I didn't know
Right.
Evie was going to have this much of a negative impact on.
Yeah, Evie completely completely shifted the moral compass. Like the gravitational pull of her like chaotic neutral or neutral evil, whatever she happens to be,
It's
is just
chaotic
like
neutral, yeah.
it's just totally shifted the dynamic.
Yeah,
So the
16
highest-
passive.
So 16 sounds like the highest, right?
I
Okay.
think so.
So you guys are walking through this part of the town for a couple of minutes. You're heading towards you're kind of winding through these paths down some stairs, and you notice that there's a bustle. People are moving around, and give me whoever is proficient in insight. Give me an insight check.
12.
18.
Okay.
12.
They seem to be in good spirits as much as anybody living in the more impoverished section of the city can be. Doesn't seem like they don't appear to be like shaking off any sort of stupor or.
But, I mean,
Do
weren't
they notice
just,
all the
like-
dead bodies around?
Yeah, what about the people that were like getting picked clean by the crows
Yeah.
and shit?
Or did that all
They're
disappear as
all
well?
gone.
Ooh.
The train
Including
is gone too.
Weren't there dead ones
Fuck.
too? Like, dead
Wait, the
people?
train is gone?
The train is gone.
I didn't even
And-
hear it.
As you guys walk out into the thoroughfare, you hear, "There they are!" As a clutch of constables and one tall, lumbering man with them begin to run in your direction. What are you guys doing?
Thank God you're here.
Gotta go. Evie just starts running.
Evie runs. Chuck, you make your persuasion check.
Don't stay with Chuck.
Evie fucking runs.
26.
I'm falling away into some shadows as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hide behind a wall.
I'm gonna walk forward as if to block myself.
I do need Quinn. I do need you to make a stealth check, a straight roll, because you're in the. There's no place for you really to hide in this area, so your cloak is not going to give you necessary. You would be rolling a disadvantage unless you had the cloak, which you do. So it's a straight roll.
30.
Okay.
Okay.
Not a natural 30. Got it. Okay. So Quinn dips. Evie sprints like opposite. He goes in opposite directions. As Char, Chuck, and Guardian are just like
Scatter.
fuck, scatter. Everybody runs in different directions.
The Heroes of Bastion.
Yeah, I don't understand. You remember when we saved an entire city?
So the constables quickly surround you in a half circle. The two in the middle, one of them appears to be wearing. He's wearing like a rider's hat, similar to the one that Chuck is wearing, except the brim has been bent up more as like a. It looks a little more broken in. He's got a long duster on. He has a spellbook slung over his side the way you'd sling a pistol, but it's a spellbook instead of a gun. And he's accompanied by what looks to be, to you, Guardian, to be a Gen 1 Warforged Juggernaut. He is about 8 feet tall. Actually, he's exactly as tall as you are. Has the same sort of body shape, but it looks like he's had scale mail integrated into his armament. So he's got like he's got almost like a scale mail kind of coif. He's got scale mail across the shoulders, like these interlocking metal discs across his whole body, and then on top of that is like a duster the size that like Mr. T from the Resident Evil remake would wear. Like it's just a giant duster that he has on top of him that covers his massive shoulders. Let me turn down the music just a tiny bit. All but the two in the center point guns at you, and the human in the middle, he's got a bald head, he's got a big beard, dark skin, and he looks at you, he says, all right, start explaining yourself. What's going on? What's the call for?
Listen, and I'm gonna, since I have the hat and the mask on, I'm gonna just transform my face into something, I don't know, somebody else. I want to look like Rafe Fiennes.
You can't, with the way the spells, you can't modify your face outside of the mask. The mask is still going to be.
No, I know. I want to do it underneath the mask, is what I'm saying, so that when I pull up the mask, I look like Rafe Fiennes.
Okay. Got it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Something happened in there, and I don't fully understand it. We were trying to meet up with our friend who had told us to meet us in his hotel room. We were waiting for the train. We were supposed to be on the train that was here, which, by the way, have y'all seen?
The train left a week ago.
Fuck. Well, we were supposed to meet someone in there, and we got there. All of a sudden, giant creature with an orb, with an eye for an orb eye, and it blew up, and we end up standing in there, all destroyed, the room's destroyed, and it's not good, and so we came out here.
Make a persuasion check. Because it's such a wild fucking story. It's true, but it's a wild fucking story.
I rolled one earlier. Did that not count, or is this a different one?
That's what stopped them. That's what stopped them from.
Oh, okay. 17.
17? He looks to the big guy and he goes, book him. They begin moving in on you guys.
You. Hey, doing this right now.
Are you guys resisting arrest, or are you going in?
Question. I don't know if they're okay. If we're out there, Do we see? Do we see what's his name? The dead body?
You don't see any dead bodies.
Not even the one that we brought in.
No dead bodies.
Son of a bitch.
There are no dead bodies. It's been completely cleaned up. Make a perception check from where you are.
I've not rolled above a 10. 10, not natural.
As you're being cuffed by the Warforged, as two of the other constables run off in Evie's direction, you see some stains on the sand, but you don't see any bodies at all. They just gone.
Listen, folks, it doesn't have to become violent, and I would prefer if it didn't. State-sanctioned violence is the exact same thing as, any other type of violence, especially out here where the control of the state is pretty weak.
All right, that's enough.
Wait.
I'm putting cuffs on you. I'm taking you to the drying out tanks. We're gonna figure this out.
What happened a week ago?
Did
anything strange happen?
Yeah, there. What's your name?
Guardian.
Guardian, do I need to... I'm not going to bother putting cuffs on you. Are you going to comply and come with us?
We should discuss this first before you arrest us.
You notice too that the other Warforged is looking at you, and then he moves to Char and also puts cuffs on Char. And then he turns to you. Are you resisting?
Yeah, sure. I'll kind of like shrug him off and try to. You don't need to be so rough on him.
Make an
Just
acrobatics.
want to talk.
Make an acrobatics check.
16.
I love how someone says "hey," and just we wipe out the entire town. And when someone tries to arrest you, listen, we just want to talk.
There's a law.
So that was an acrobatics check, right?
Yeah, 16.
He rolls a 26. So as you try to pull away, he snatches your hand, pulls it behind your back, and then you just feel the tightening around your wrists.
Oh shit, jeez.
And this guy looms over. He's as big as Guardian, and Guardian's a big dude. And as he turns now to you, curious, not necessarily threatening.
The truth will set us free.
What the fuck?
The Warforged immediately turns to Chuck and is fucking confused. As the sheriff is looking at you and he says, "I prefer not to talk out here. We're starting to freak people out. I'd much rather take you somewhere where we can talk in private and not have to make a show of this."
Sounds fair. I won't resist.
Good man. So, from your Quinn, from your perspective, you see a brief, tense conversation. You see both Chuck and Char get cuffed. You see the the sheriff and the sheriff's deputy having a conversation with Guardian, and they all turn for the north end of the city, and they begin
stealthily follow them.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
My normal or straight?
It can be with advantage for this one because you're no longer being directly cased.
Okay. 29.
29. I think you're fairly well hidden. Evie, give me an athletics check.
Uh, 16.
Okay.
Also, I would like to command Floofy to hinder as I basically try to give me some distance between me and my followers.
You want to send your dog after them?
Okay. Yeah.
He can or she can hinder by trying to grapple one of them if you want him to.
Yeah. Or just kind of intimidate and kind of bark really loud.
Do you want to intimidate or grapple?
Let's intimidate.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an intimidation roll.
Intimidation would be...
I don't think if he doesn't have a plus to it, it's just going to be plus his charisma.
Yeah. It's got a -2 to charisma.
Should be good.
12.
12. So you... There's like half a cigarette still in your mouth from from when you were like just lighting it and turn and then fucking booked it. You dip into the lower end of the city streets. You turn a corner with your 16 athletics.
Mm-hmm.
You lose one of them immediately. As he runs, you run around the corner, you're there for a second, and you see him run past the thoroughfare. Another one turns and then looks at you, sees you around the side of the corner, and begins to run in your direction as Floofy turns and is like, "Arr!" And he just leaps it and is now a couple of feet from you. What are you doing?
I would like to cast Alter Self on myself.
Okay.
As soon as I see a like a gambling establishment, if I'm close to one or see some sort of like casino, I want to dip into the casino, cast Alter Self on myself to look like a woman that looks like 100 years old, has been completely suntanned, you know, like lines on her face, cigarette hanging out of her mouth, and sit down at
like a slot machine.
at like a slot machine.
Okay, now I just want you to
That's
know,
what I want to do.
this guy is only a couple feet from you right now. So you may need to get some distance between you and him before you attempt something like that, where you may see the change. So you can attempt something else this round to try to get some distance on him, and then you can make the Alter Self. So let me know what you want to do to try to get away from him.
Dash. Just kick in the afterburners.
Give me another athletics check.
Ooh, natural 20.
So he leaps over Floofy and lands, and by the time he looks up, you're just around the corner. So I'm gonna have him make his next athletics roll to see if he can keep up with you. No. As you run around the corner, you immediately begin to alter self, and then you duck into these batwing doors into a place that is equal parts cigarette smoke and mildew in this south end of the city. It is a dive of a dive. And as you dig it, immediately everybody turns and looks at you. There are a couple of old, like, positively ancient people on these slot machines. One of them is just a giant turtle who is just like slowly pulling the on the machine. And as you alter self and sit down at the one furthest from the door, you see a man bursts in, looks around. He's going to make a perception check with disadvantage.
Hey, Joe. Joe, you got a light? Anyone got a light?
Wow, it's still pretty good. What is when you alter self, what is the save?
16.
Oh, he rolls a 17.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so
it's investigation.
It's not like disguise self, where it's like an illusion.
It's actually
I'm
you.
literally changing my appearance.
So he looks in and he just sees an old woman at the end of the slot machines with all the other.
So there's no save or anything.
So he looks. Anyone seen a blue-haired lady come in here?
What?
Yeah. All right. Sorry to disturb you. Leaves. You've effectively evaded the police. So.
I'll order a drink.
It'll be 1 silver. Going to the sheriff's office on the lower end of the city. It's a bit more beat up. Not quite as nice as the constable. How do you say the
Constabulary?
Constabulary? Is that how you say it? It's not as nice as the one above the drop. This one here, it seems like this is definitely the new guy gets this shift. The building itself has that kind of lean to it that a lot of the buildings down here have, as everything sort of has been pushed by the wind over years and years and years of damage. And with you guys now sitting in these, let me change the music so something a little less intense. So as you guys are sitting in this constabulary,
Constabulatory.
Let me see. Wait, let's start.
We're about to make it a constabulatory.
Get over here. You guys get in there. Like basically, the camera pans in through the window, and like Chuck has a knife out.
He's already formed a shiv.
He's already formed a shiv. You've been here for 6 seconds.
The ship's made out of my tooth. I carry it.
So within this area now, the constable takes you guys in, and he doesn't even put you into a cell or anything. He's just there with two of his other deputies, two of the other constables, and then his deputy, Iron Scales, who just stands in the doorway, and he's as good of a blocked door as any. And he actually just tiredly sits down at his desk, and he says, "All right, go over it again, the whole story about the giant eye, and just leave out all the parts that are bullshit, and tell me what the deal with the Mudhawks is."
Well, Mudhawks are run by that Bone Lady, right?
I mean, as far as I know,
she's dead. We killed her. Why don't we bring it back a little bit? We were out taking out the Cult of Mazette, if you're familiar.
Taking out we trade openly with the Cult of Mazette. What do you mean taking out the Cult of Mazette?
Well, it turns out they're a bunch of human traffickers. That's a big no-no for me. And
you have any proof of this?
Sorry, say that again.
You have any proof of this?
Yeah, have you ever been to their house?
No, they come into trade.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. We went there, and there's tons of cages, and it's no good.
Again, do you have any proof of this at all?
Oh, goddamn multiple eyes.
do you like drop the...
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Do you like the fucking deed? You know what
Her head is covered in eyeballs.
They did this to my goddamn face.
Scores, mercy, what the fuck is that? He actually reaches forward.
Son of a bitch.
Those are real?
Yeah, they're real. Listen, it's definitely helped me give a new perspective on life.
He turns to the big one, to Guardian. He goes, and you can corroborate all of this?
It's all true.
And so anyway, we go out there, we come back, we notice time is frozen still.
Oh, by the way, for the first leg of this, make a persuasion check, Chuck, with advantage because Guardian's helping you.
Okay, 22.
Mm-hmm. He leans in. Keep going.
So we come back, we notice something's amiss. And, I try my best to, let sleeping dogs lie when something seems amiss. Unless, of course, people need help. And we noticed it was more of the latter, less of the former. So we come in, notice people need... Do I notice Guardian shaking his head? I mean... somebody. Gotcha. Sorry, I thought he was doing like...
all right.
So we come back, notice that something's amiss. We see we find a magician, wizard, that's the word, and he has cast a spell, meaning that the time has stopped in this area for some people, but not for others. We didn't really get to the bottom of it, but we start walking through town, we see the Mudhawks. They have the goddamn audacity, get this, and you're not going to believe this. If you believe the rest of this, you're not going to believe this. They have the audacity to say hey to me as if I'm a goddamn horse. And I start blasting. we all take him down. It's a pretty momentous occasion, a sure sign of martial prowess, the likes of which have not been seen this side of the drop. And in the process of taking them all down, we find this amulet. Do I have the amulet on me?
Yeah. They didn't pull any. I mean, they pulled your guns. Your guns are.
I'll get that back. Wait, question. Just point of order. Has my gun disappeared from there?
I mean, do you?
Nah, I'm not gonna will it towards me yet.
Yeah.
We found this.
It's lightly smoldering on the seat.
Yeah, we found this off of the bone minotaur lady. We took out all the mudmen, and we went to go to where our friend the wizard was staying. End up in that hotel room. We get there. There's a strange floating eye. All of a sudden, it looks at us, says, "We need to." This orb says, "We need to rectify the situation," but it said it in its brain. And then I said, "You go ahead, sir. We're here to support justice and the law, no matter what it is, and we're good." All of a sudden, the wizard disappears. Time is unfrozen. Our train is gone. So I'm pretty pissed about that because we need to be on that train. And now we're here.
This.
Put the.
Give me a persuasion check.
No problem. With advantage again?
No, he doesn't turn to Guardian on this one.
Alrighty, mighty 15. If I don't have advantage, I'm not going to roll over a 10.
Go back to the part about the giant eye. And this wizard. So it wasn't the Mudhawks then who... We thought it was a heist. We thought they... What the fuck?
So they started stealing stuff, and we shot...
They did more than start. They pillaged this entire end of the drop. They stole all the scrappers from the boys at the end. They've taken close to 60,000 gold worth of supplies, materials, magical items from this whole end of the drop, and they're gone.
Well, that ain't good.
And this all happened like that.
Yeah, I'm guessing it had to do with this whole time continuum thing going.
So you're saying it wasn't them. You're saying it was some other third party, this wizard guy that...
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm saying that we stopped a lot of those Mudhawks, and then some of them escaped our righteous path. And perhaps it was them who went forward to steal. I couldn't tell you, quite frankly. I'll tell you what, that was the
Mudhawks because they left a note saying it was the Mudhawks, so they seem to be pretty proud of themselves.
Yeah, that sounds like them for sure. So that probably was them, and then they ran off. I'm telling you that this eye didn't seem like the stealing type. It seemed more concerned with fixing the time-space continuum.
Can I see that amulet?
Hey, you can see it from right where you are. Thank you very much.
No, I'm just let me borrow the amulet.
Chuck.
All right. Well,
Let him see it.
give me the amulet.
I'm gonna keep you here, guys, for a couple of minutes while I take care of something. And
All right. I hope it's a couple minutes in all of our shared flow of time. Because I've been burned before.
He pops the book. He pulls the book from its like rip away holster on the side, drops it down, opens it up, pages through. The whole book is handwritten. He goes to a certain page with a bunch of rituals on it, and begins to draw something on the table in front of him, and places the amulet in the center. He's like,
Does anyone have a cigarette?
"Yeah, iron scales." You see the iron scales hands over a slightly bent cigarette, and then from the tip of his finger, produces flame.
Thanks.
This is an amulet of wound closure. So whoever you pulled it off of, well, I assume they didn't make it.
Undoubtedly. And I want to clarify, I was not fully supporting the removal of that. It was the bone woman, the Minotaur.
Can you tell us what happened to that other lady? The one that was with you guys? Blue-haired one. with the dog.
She not here?
You just like the expression drains from his face.
Well, that's not good. If I knew what happened to her, I would tell you.
It seems like we've got kind of a problem here. We've got somebody who ran off with a lot of money off into the wasteland. Obviously, you need to catch your train. So, I can requisition one of our scrappers if you need it. As long as you take Ironsides with you. And you can finish off those Mudhawks out in the wasteland, fire where they went.
That sounds like a fair deal to me. I'll tell you what, I didn't like those fellas. I thought that what they were doing was quite rude and unbecoming of the stature of this town.
That much we do agree on. So,
What's her name?
Farson. And
Farboy. Nice to meet you, Chuck.
Farson. I think you heard me just fine.
You know what I said?
That's Iron Scales. Deputy Iron Scales.
Iron Scales.
The deputy, by the way, turns to you. He removes his helmet. And you can see on his forehead is a very familiar symbol to you, Guardian. So,
Figured as much.
yep.
You guys related or something?
Big one says something like that.
All right.
Words are exchanged between the two.
That's racist, Chuck. Don't assume that they're related.
Fine.
Yeah, he's actually
Listen,
my mom.
without Quinn here, someone needs to be that member of the party.
Until we find your other friend, why don't you guys stay here? We'll try to bring her in.
Why don't we help you find them? I mean, I'm fine. They're not going to follow you. They clearly ran away. Well, I don't know why you're saying friends, because the only person that we were with was the blue-haired one.
Yeah. But the report said that there was 5 of you, counting a dog. Not
Goddamn
counting a
quick
dog.
counter.
Well, you were all packed into a motel. The lady gave us a pretty clear description of each of you, and I do notice that 2 of you are missing. The other
Two
one,
of the people reported. 2 of the people who claim to have been there are missing. Yeah, for sure. People make mistakes all the time, is all I'm saying.
all right, my patience with you is growing very thin.
Yeah,
So,
well,
I'm going to have you
right
take
back at you.
my deputy, go find your friends, gather them up, bring them back here. We'll finish our conversation, and we'll figure something out. But I just want you to know that I haven't completely absolved you of all suspicion with this. Your involvement here with the rest of these folks is a bit too strange. And, well, we'll keep an eye.
Listen, I get that your entire job as a constable is to, direct judgment on others, but I'll tell you what, you know what's strange? Having all these goddamn eyes on my fucking face. A lot of things are strange right now, and I'm saying that I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, you're trying to get to the bottom of it. I feel like I'm receiving a large amount of hostility for someone who's trying to help you get rid of these mudhogs, who, by the way, we have killed so many goddamn mud... You know what? Fuck this. Iron Scales, let's
Guardian
go.
tries to just calm him down.
Just calm down. They're letting us go already.
Yeah, they're letting us go because we're going to go do their goddamn job for them. Let's go.
Iron Scales ducks a bit and opens the door for you guys as Chuck storms out with Guardian and Char close behind.
Son of a bitch.
I'm like, oh shit, ugh. And like run away from the door.
Yeah, what are you, so
Quinn's hiding in a barrel.
I'll just yell outside, Quinn and Evie, get in here. They want our help.
I'm assuming Quinn did follow close behind.
Yeah. I was like sitting at the door trying to listen in.
As the door opens, you dive out of the way. Stick around the corner. But Evie, what are you doing? Are you still in the area?
Yeah, I'm still at the slot machine. I'm just feeding it, and I'm saying,
Give me a
Streak.
give me a d20 roll.
I did a 17 on my acrobatics to get out of the way of the door.
I think it's just enough.
19.
19. Roll 46 for me, please.
Yay. That is 12, 14.
You come with 14 silver.
Woo!
Not bad.
So as I'm feeding the slide, I'm just kind of talking at it, but kind of to the turtle next to me, and I'm just like, it's fun going out and discovering new things and creating new things, but at the end of the day, sometimes I just wonder, what am I doing with my life? You ever get that feeling? I don't know. It's just
dedicated so much of my life to studying rocks.
God, I knew it.
I don't know what it all means sometimes.
Yeah, man, I get it. Do you study rocks? That sounds pretty boring.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, actually, have a look at this. Lean in here. Lean in.
She kind of gives like a look and begins to crane her long neck down as the neck kind of comes out of the shell more.
I'm gonna just hold open my bag ever so slightly and reach in and kind of flash the planar constant.
By the way, when I mentioned this earlier, when you put the planar constant towards the bag of holding, it got very hot.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, I might have put it in a different pocket.
Okay, so you kind of pull open a
But
pocket.
I'll pull it either way. Yeah, I'll
Just
just
so you
flash
know,
it.
just in case you accidentally throw it in the bag of holding or something.
Thank
and
you.
we have to
Thank you.
do a whole
Yeah, I'll keep
adventure
that in
on the
mind.
actual plane.
Right. Hey, you ever seen a rock like this before?
You see her face. You know the scene in Pulp Fiction when the suitcase opens and like the golden light shines? From her perspective, it's just like there's like a pink glow on her face, and you see her eyes get huge. She's like, where did you find that?
Are you still like affected by the time stop thing? Because you're talking really, really slow.
What time stop?
Don't worry about it. Okay.
I will pay you for that.
Yeah?
Yeah,
How much?
I will give you 8,000 gold for that.
So I take it you know what it is.
I do.
You wanna tell me a little bit more about it?
It is known as a planar constant. It exists everywhere and nowhere. A knot of space-time, forged by the Urgatai millions of years ago.
Have I heard of the
powerful.
Urgatai? Does that strike a bell?
Yes, but give me an Arcana check to see how much exactly.
Natural 20 plus 9, so 29.
You're very familiar with the Urgatai, especially their technology. You know that a lot of the technology that comes from the wasteland that gets drudged up out of the wasteland is old Urgatai tech, or tech or magic that's based off of their technology, or it's stuff that has been suffused by long-term contact with their technology. You also know that they are supposedly responsible for the weird thinness of the plains in this continent. You know that they disappeared off the face of the planet, a few millennia ago. You know that they were supposedly from the images of them around Bastion and throughout the wasteland that they were giants, a race of giants with 4 arms, 4 eyes, and seemingly held sway over this entire plane at one point.
Right. Well, I think I'm gonna hang on to it right now. But what did you say your name was? I was calling you Joe, but I call everyone Joe when I first meet them.
Oh, my name is Grohl.
Grohl. That's cool. That's kind of fun to say. Grohl.
I like you, but I notice your accent is a bit strange. Where are you from?
I'm from Bastion.
Oh,
Where are you
Okay.
from?
I'm from the jungle nations of Ghoul. You may not
Where's-
have heard of them.
Where's
It's in
that? Yeah.
pulls the handle down again.
You recommend going there? Should I check it out sometime or what?
Not unless you're immune to poison and disease and malaria and flesh bugs and swamp rot and flesh rot.
Sounds
know.
lovely. Well, Grohl, what are you doing here at a dive like this? There's not many rocks here, as far as I can see.
I was just getting ready for another excursion. I heard that towards the northeast there was a great outcropping of cloud crystal, but when I went to check it out before, it seems it had moved far to the west. But how does cloud crystal move if it's just a crystal?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but there's weird stuff that happens out here on the frontier. It's quite odd. Maybe that's how. Maybe it has something to do with this, this stuff.
I have my doubts. I suspect something may be moving it, but I only have suspicions and no proof.
Hey, listen, I have something you're interested in, and I think you could possibly help me as well. Would you want to study it together?
I suppose that is possible.
Follow me. And I'm gonna get up
Okay.
and give the slot machine one more coin.
Mm-hmm. Give me a d20 roll.
16.
Okay. Do not win.
All right.
Machine's cold anyway.
All right, let's go.
All right. So, Goal follows close behind.
Sweet. I want to walk out to the back, and maybe kind of like away from the buildings or out behind in the alleyway of somewhere that looks a little protected, not as much street traffic as you would normally get, but
Well, I mean, there's plenty of dark alleyways around here. She's a bit suspicious as you pull her into a dark alley, but
Listen, no funny business. I promise. This is fine.
so
This
I'll-
isn't one of those alleys.
I'll pull out a cube and set it down on the ground and pull out my tinker's tools and kind of give it a little twist and a nod. And suddenly this workshop pops up in the alleyway, just unfolds and starts building itself in this alleyway. Bunch of tools and tables and beakers and
just
different things.
folds out, and it keeps folding out until it's just a big 10-foot cube that's sealed with a door, like a bulwark on the front of it.
Yep.
And then as you
And then
open the door, it's lined with tools, there's a workbench, there's a kiln, there's all the materials that you need within this space.
and I will drop alter self Because I assume it's been, it's probably still less than an hour. But
Yeah, it's been less than an hour.
Yeah, I'll drop alter self. And I'll be like, I'm Evie. Nice to meet you.
I'm still Grohl. Nice to meet you again.
All right, so let's get to work, yeah? And I'll pull out the planar constant and set it on the table, and just I want to sit there and do whatever we need to do to kind of safely observe it, maybe ruminate on this Urgatite technology, and work together with Grohl to understand more about this technology.
Okay, give me an Arcana check with advantage.
Uh, 23.
23. So, what nature would you like to discover about it? Practical uses? History? Would you like to understand its historical use? Its physical properties? What are some things you'd like to discover about it?
Let's do practical uses of it.
Practical uses.
Yeah.
So it takes a little time for you and Grohl to dig into this, and she's giving you a good bit of information, as well as you sort of coming to your own conclusions the more you poke and prod this thing. It is very volatile to any sort of magical touch that comes within it, and you also notice that while some things exhibit a magical dampening field, this seems to have the opposite effect. This actually has to be a magic well, where it actually pulls in magic from around it. As you are moving this piece around and subjecting it to certain magical effects, you notice that you can suspend it in the air indefinitely with just a bit of magic charge. Another thing, through the readings on your machines around you, you notice a very peculiar stasis effect when the planar constant is suspended in the air, and you get a sense that any odd magical effects, like wild magic or things that are caused by destabilization, can be muted or dampened if enough planar constant is in the area.
So planar constant dampens chaotic magic, or just magic in general?
Chaotic magic. And in a wide field, it seems to fill the whole room that you're in. This dampening field.
Besides wild magic, would there be anything else that it would dampen specifically?
From your 23, it honestly seems like it might dampen the effects that the wasteland produces. You're putting two and two together. You begin to get the sense that you could potentially use this if you had enough of it, or maybe even just this chunk. Who knows how big the radius is, to stabilize a portion of the wasteland.
Awesome. Well, Grohl, this is fascinating, don't you think?
It really is.
Oh. Are you just interested in studying it, or did something that you needed for?
Well, I have a bit of a pet project of my own. I would like this place to be a home for people. And unfortunately, it is far too unstable. But with enough of this stone, and with your research, I feel that we may be able to make a permanent homestead in this place. Make it something where people can come and live in harmony and not be waylaid by magic storms and horrific creatures.
That sounds very idealistic of you. Yeah. I suppose I could be down for that. Maybe. You know, before, when I told you that I was from Bastion, that is true. But the truth is I don't exactly know where my accent comes from, and I do my best to try and dampen it because I understand that it makes me stick out a bit.
I find it very charming.
Well, I find you charming. Listen, I had some friends that I was with, and I just remembered. Should probably be checking on them. Oh, will you be around? The drop, or where is your next excursion? Where can I find you again? Actually, is my question, because I've really enjoyed our investigation on this material, and who knows? I mean, I will be out in the wasteland and beyond, and there may be other things I come across that we could study together.
I have joined up with a local adventurer, and we will be heading to the northeast upon his airship.
I hope his name is not Dantes Gerard.
His name is not Dantes Gerard.
Okay, good.
He is what he calls a gentleman adventurer. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Well, I suppose there's gentlemen adventurers and lady adventurers and turtle adventurers.
That ladies can be gentlemen too.
In some cases, I suppose, yes. Anyhow, so you are going to aboard an airship. You know what? Actually, there might be a way that we can communicate, or... Well, you know what, friend? Hopefully our paths will cross in the future, and since you will be on an airship, I will look up to the sky, and if I see you, I will try to say hello.
And I will say hello back. Pleasant
Right.
travels, and
Same to
best of
you.
luck finding more of that planar constant. It's quite important.
I agree.
May we see each other again. If you do change your mind, we'll be towards the northeast.
Northeast, got it. And, thank you for your kindness. That is very rare in this part of the world, I think. And
If
in
you
life in general.
If you do look for us, we will be in the small town of Hyacinth. It's the town before Junkton, along the Great Road. We will stop there after we have located our cloud crystal.
Amazing. You are lovely. Safe travels, my friend.
Take
And
care.
I'll just kind of pat her on the shoulder, and I'll pick up, or I'll hit the spot on the ground. It's like a little square spot.
Just folds back into a tiny cube.
Pick it up, put it in my pocket, give her a nod, and I will try to kind of stealthily head back towards the
Okay. I'll just be yelling.
constabulary.
Hey,
Goodbye.
hey, quit! Evie,
hear-
come on!
You hear? Make a stealth check.
18.
18. So you are moving like a shadow through this part of the lower end of the city, trying to pass through the crowds in a way that is inconspicuous and sort of very Assassin's Creed. When you begin to hear the sound
The only
of
person wearing a white hood.
the only person wearing a white hood, and some of those people are just like, can't fucking find him. You very quickly begin to hear the sound of Chuck yelling your name.
I'm gonna just throw out and
Is that
hope
a whistle? It cut out
it's
a little
whistle.
bit.
Yeah, it's a whistle to to get Floofy to come out from wherever she's been hiding.
You see, not too far away, like surrounded by children. Floofy is on her back, as they're all like giving her scratches. You can't feel it, but she's just like totally playing into it. And then you whistle and just like hops back up, and then like jumps over the kids and passes through the crowd and finds you.
Awesome. And I'll head in the direction that I hear my name being called.
Okay, you guys meet back up to the south of the train. You notice that there is a gigantic warforged with about the same size as Guardy, but covered in these metallic, almost kind of jingling scales. As he gives you a nod as you approach, and he turns to Chuck and says, "I assume this is the other one."
Yep, that's her.
I believe you all have been tasked with something important.
Yeah, Evie, this is Iron Scales. Iron Scales, Evie, and Quinn. Quinn, this is also Iron Scales, just to make sure we're all on the same page. I've now introduced everybody who needs to get introduced.
I'll toss Chuck a cigarette as I...
Thank the Lord.
Which Lord?
You know which one I'm talking about. Tyr, God of Justice, for this fella right here. Let's get out of here.
Alright, let's go.
Alright.
How about this?
So, you guys begin heading towards the east end of the city, towards where a lot of the warehouses are. You do see in this portion of the city, you see to the north, because the geography of this city, airships can't skydock, so they do have to land. You see at the far end of the city to the north, an old, beat-up looking airship that's belching black smoke as it's idling. You see some people walking up the gangplanks and dropping things into the place.
Gilded gazers, dial it in.
Give me
Do
a perception
I recognize this airship?
Give me a perception check.
That's with advantage. Alright.
You needed it, I'm sure.
Yeah. 22.
22. It's way more beat up than the last time you saw it, but it is the ineffable. You do not see the captain, however.
You guys remember that guy? God, what was his name? The guy that we took these things from. Remember the Hydra and all that stuff when we went through?
Yeah, the fancy man.
When you
I
fucking
don't
threw a
remember
snake
his
at me. Do you remember throwing a snake at me? Remember when we did all that? What was that guy?
Listen, how could I forget throwing a snake at you? I don't remember his name, quite frankly. But that should deter us from saying hello.
Well, okay, that's the ineffable, whatever, that ship, the airship that we almost died on.
No time for detours. We have a job.
This might help us get where we need to go.
Yeah, we might actually. This might speed things up.
Can hitch a ride.
Yeah.
Also,
there's
I've always wanted to ride on an airship.
Where are we going, Chuck?
You, by the way, there's clearly gears turning as he's thinking. Give me a
literal
persuasion.
gears turning.
Because he's a warforged? Got it. 23.
Looks to Guardian for affirmation.
It could work.
We go say hi. If they can't help, plan continues as it was.
Thank you, Mr. Skillet. All right, off we go.
You guys begin trudging to the north of the city. You pass the warehouses that house most of the other Blackstone technology kept on the far end of town. Interestingly enough, you do notice that the Warforged Titan that had been on the back of that train, Edie, that you attempted to go towards the beginning of the campaign, it's here now, deactivated on the far end, and is sort of leaning against one of the warehouses. It doesn't appear to be awake. And as you guys are heading towards this heading towards this airship, beat up and and making loud sounds of like idling with Blackstone technology. A familiar turtle figure passes you by, gives a wave with her pack on her back like a big bedroll and jingling as she walks with a big bag of like all kinds of crap on her back. She heads up the gangplank, gives a wave.
Hey, girl! Girl!
Turns back. Oh, hi!
You know Grohl?
Oh my God, she's about the finest lady I ever did meet out here.
Grohl, we have been waiting for quite a while now. We need to get underway.
Hey, it's that guy.
Pull the gangplank! Pull the gangplank!
No. You're running up the gangplank as it's going.
Then make an acrobatics check for me, Quinn. Everybody else make athletics as you're all trying to like get to
Be
the
my
ship.
friend.
22.
22. So he pulls the gangplank up, and as he does, you stomp onto the end of it and like kind of pull it out of his hands, and it jams back into the dirt again as you begin running up. And he's like, "No!
Wait! We need to talk to you real quick.
Hit the gas!
Don't hit the gas!"
You can start to spin up from the bottom.
21.
What did you get? 3, Evie? you go to run immediately, and you feel something from the sprinting earlier. Something's tight in your back, like you feel your hamstring pull, and you hobble forward as even Floofy takes off running forward. Wait, you got a 10, Chuck?
Yeah. Can I cast Fly on myself and Evie?
Yeah, you can cast Fly on yourself and Evie if you want to.
As I clearly am like losing it, just cast.
Oh, thank God! I pulled
Let's go.
something in my hammy.
So, what did Char get, and what did
19.
And what did Guardian get?
21.
Okay, you guys all make it, with the exception of Iron Scales, who rolled a 2. As the ship is lifting, and he's and looks up as the ship is lifting up into the air. All right, the ship is lifting. All right,
Don't fuck with me.
Oh, it's fucking incredible. So Iron Scales is just standing there, and then he turns and you see he runs off back to the constabulary.
Perhaps we shouldn't break the law any more than we already are.
Not
Listen,
our
we're
fault
gonna be
that he
looking for a
couldn't keep
guy
up.
with multiple eyes.
All right, stowaways. So you guys turn and you see a familiar face, a bit more gray in the immaculately trimmed curly mustache and beard, with his safari hat on his head, his pack on his back, his trusty pistols at his hips, and a very very familiar looking pair of golden goggles on his face. As you pull yours up on your forehead, he just looks at you and just,
Hey.
well, are you here to threaten me again?
Well, is that any way to talk to your old friends? Really?
We are not friends. The last time we spoke, you robbed me, you forced me into servitude, and I think half of my crew ended up dead.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
that
tell you
sounds
what,
about
you haven't
right
done
for
a
this.
great
I mean-
job at the soul servitude part.
If I remember correctly, you weren't exactly too concerned about your crew. So, I mean, did something change, or?
What? I had to pay money out to their families, and I wasn't exactly looking forward to.
Oh yeah, so monetary. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Sorry about that. So we need to get somewhere, and obviously you get places really well. So
As you guys
I'm
are
going to kind of
by the way.
elbow Quinn kind of hard in the chest and just say, "Hey, you're gonna introduce me to your friend or what, man?"
oh yeah, Evie, this is
No, just say this is Evie, and he'll introduce himself.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the key.
this is Evie.
While this is happening, by the way, Grohl is looking over the edge of the ship and turns to the crowd and says, no one in particular, "Are we criminals now?"
Listen, we're not necessarily. if you help us out, we all can clear all of our respective names.
My lady, I am Rosenbrand von Thistlebrook. I'm heir to the
Rosenbrand, that's what I said.
fortune. I'm son to the celebrity adventurer Ispus von Thistlebrook.
That's a mouthful.
Have I heard of
Yeah,
This
ass
one.
piss Thistlebrook.
Thistlebrook?
So, well, you being as involved in Blackstone technology, absolutely. He was one of the founding artificers of Blackstone technology, and was basically made his money as a weapons manufacturer during the war. After that, became like a Teddy Roosevelt kind of character. Was like, swashbuckling, like hunter conservative type, and would go to various locales and hunt and dig up relics. And this version, and so you've heard a bit about that family. You most likely have heard about their son Rosenbrand, who's kind of like like an Indiana Jones kind of guy. He's like he's an archaeologist who blows as much of his family's fortune as possible on his harebrained adventures.
Wait, the Thistlebrooks?
The one and only.
Ispis is a legend! Oh my goodness, this is amazing! And this is your ship, I assume?
You are correct. This is my ship. Losing the accent.
My gosh, the fortune! I am so happy
Yes.
to be here.
Well, I'm very happy to make your acquaintance, and you're welcome aboard if you're friends of these folk. Because if you're friends of these folk will most likely kill me if I try to remove you from my ship. So
You're right.
Yeah, Thistlebrook, as I recall, we reached a mutual understanding, and I mean, I saved your life. Remember, I healed you like 3 times.
Okay. You threatened my life quite a lot, if I recall. But because you also saved my life
I
less
personally did not
times
threaten
than
your
you
life.
threatened it.
I did not threaten your life. That
The
would
Lord
have
giveth, the
been,
Lord taketh away.
That would have been somebody who's. I don't think they're with us anymore. Actually, if I
The,
recall.
Listen,
the ship, by the way,
Thistlebrook-
is moving on a pretty clear trajectory now. It's moved well beyond the city. You guys are going at a pretty good clip, and you seem to almost be following the same path as the train tracks.
Should we
I
find
find it
out where
best
those
not to-
mudhawks are?
I find it best not to engage with these folks sometimes, it's just best to kind of...
I've learned my lesson, or at least you think I would have learned my lesson. I did my best to get away from them. They sort of just seem to keep popping up.
I
Hey,
will argue you to death. If
do
not,
we?
bore you to death first. But, it's just... Sometimes you just got to cut your losses and move on,
As a quick group question, do we want to try to deal with the Mudhawks? I don't know if I told Evie and Quinn the whole issue. They were willing to let us go free if we figured out where the Mudhawks were and got them back whatever they stole from town.
I heard a little bit through the door, but I couldn't get it all. So.
Well, that's pretty much the gist of it. So we can commandeer this here ship from Mr. Rosenkrantz.
Dear, are you
No.
fucking
No.
mad?
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Fire out.
Yeah, we don't need to look. Thistlebrand, what if we split this? No, what if you did something for the good of the people, and it will help
His name
with your
Thistlebrook, Quinn, and I'm sure he would appreciate it if you got it right.
Yeah, the son of ass piss.
Hey, Chuck, come on now. You are on his ship. Let us show a little bit of respect.
No, that's
okay?
seriously what I thought his name was. Is it not?
His name is Rosenbrand. Come on.
It's-
No, his son, his dad. His dad. I know. It's
Yes.
I said
Ispis.
Rosenbrand. Did I
Ispis,
not say
guys.
Rosenbrand?
If I'm being completely honest, call my
We don't
father.
have time for this.
You
Just
can
let
call my
bygones
father
be
whatever you want to
bygones.
call him. I don't care. I'm trying to get out of the man's shadow anyway.
Okay. So
I don't want to get out of
let's-
Pits of
if
Shadow
you-
too.
if you want to get out of his shadow, you want to grow your renowned, helping the people down there would be a way to do that. So maybe we stop off and we take care of these mudhawks, and then we can go wherever it is that you're going, because it feels like we're kind of on the same trajectory.
Make a persuasion check.
Can I help him? I'm just like pointing and being like,
I want to help with that. So
He only gets one advantage from the help, but we can all
give him
kind of...
double advantage.
Let's just cheer him on while he's
Yeah.
totally right. He's totally right.
You said persuasion?
Persuasion.
It's good that I'm not that good at that. 19.
19. That's pretty good. And you're also trying to get to his sense of honor, which is probably smart. He says, Grohl, have you been tracking the movements? I have been tracking them, yes. How much time do we have? Well, I believe if we can make this quick enough, we should still be able to catch it before it moves too far into the wastelands. All right. What's the heading?
We got to turn back and pick up that guy.
Meeting. That's Chuck. That's all on you, buddy.
He didn't mention where the heading was, right?
He actually did. He had mentioned that it was to the. I thought it was. He had mentioned to the southeast of the drop.
It's to the southeast of the drop.
If he didn't mention that, then that's on me because he should have mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Head downstairs. Get comfortable.
Any of your crew still
that
alive?
One room with the multiple or with the single bunk. I like that room.
Can I ask a question real quick? What are we doing? Why are we following the Mudhawks? Are we not trying to follow the train and get to the destination that Guardian needs to get to?
Well, we'll do that. We can catch up to the train if it's heading in the same direction. We go. Here's the game plan that I'm suggesting. I'm not demanding. We go get the Mudhawks, come back, clear all of our respective names, including this cast of motley crew, etc.
We're not criminals, just so we're clear.
Well, you're aiding and abetting criminals by the very fact that I'm standing here, and if you decide not to make me not stand here, I'll tell you what, we're going to have some problems. Anyway.
Oh, there it is. Oh, God.
So, we go, we drop off whatever good that is. Mr. Thistlebrook ends up a goddamn hero in the eyes of the drop. Our names are cleared on top of that. Then we go and follow this train. And end up wherever we go. It's a quick little detour, in and out, an hour. 2 hours stuff.
I've had this bit.
Just a quick little adventure. Don't even worry about it, Evie.
Okay, I just did not know what you had discussed at the
3 hours, maybe a few more, not much.
I think this goes to I think this is Guardian's kind of call, because he was the boss, as Evie says.
Yeah, Guardian, do you want to spend the rest of our lives as criminals running away, or do you want to just solve this once and for all? It's up to you.
Point is, we had to help the people down there.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
He's already come to an understanding with.
We do.
Boss has spoken.
That's what I like about Boss. He's so soft-spoken, but it really means a lot when he does speak.
As you guys,
tell me again what we are doing, though. What do we have to do with these? Just kill them, or what are we doing?
We need
kill
to
the
retrieve what they
Mudhawks,
stole.
bring back whatever they got.
I mean, we could talk to them. Maybe just take what they got.
Okay. I just want
we
to be
can kill
clear
him.
on the
All right,
plan.
sorry, Chuck. Yeah, we can just kill him. Fuck it.
I don't want to go in there guns blazing if we were supposed
we could
to
try to
actually
talk to
rescue
him.
them.
We're pretty good at the guns blazing part.
We actually I think we probably should just get the drop on him and take him out.
Yeah.
It's also
6
vitally
seconds
important
tops.
that we don't forget the grave affront that they made towards us.
Absolutely.
all right. So as you guys feel the whole ship begin to turn, as the ship turns, it was initially going into the wind, and as it turns now, it catches the wind, moving from the northwest to the southeast, and there's a lurch of the ship forward as you guys catch airship.
I grab the rail with just a little PTS from making that leap out onto the fucking.
That's right. All
right, I'm gonna go below deck.
And there's that constant sound of like that rumbling, that deep growl of this machine as it's cobbled together from all these disparate types of technology. Some of it ergotai, some of it gnomish, some of it Blackstone. And you guys begin to push through, following the airstream to the southeast of the city.
Is this a short rest?
Yes, go ahead. Well, yes, this will be considered a short rest.
Can I spend it also talking to Grohl and catching up?
Yeah, of course.
miss her.
It's so great to see you again. Have you learned anything new about the frontier that I may not have come in contact with?
Well, let me tell you about these meanies, and then I'll tell her all about the understanding, and
So Grohl is impressed. Grohl spends much more of her time out in the wasteland, and doesn't meet so much with the folks in the city. But she's incredibly impressed at the amount of settlers in what are called wildcatters, who have pushed out into the wasteland these settlers. Who are now trying to actually make something of the frontier and make it a livable place. And they're contending with monsters, and they're contending with these wild magic storms, and they're contending with the shifting plains, but they're still eking out a life on the frontier because of the supplies that CC's trading company has been able to provide. And she's thankful for that, because it's also helped the people that she knows and the people around her, and it's made it safer for those folks to travel and not be so reliant upon the Frontier Coalition, who had no real interest in making the frontier better for anybody, just in stripping it bare of Blackstone. So about an hour and a half passes as you guys are flying through the air high above the twisting landscape beneath you. You can see, for a lot of you, it's the first time, for some of you, it's the first time being up this high. You can see a very interesting set of geographic features. A lot of gigantic cracks run through this area that have now been overgrown with these wild grasses and tall mounds of what could be some kind of fungus, or maybe a kind of like termite mound. It's hard to kind of tell what it is. And additionally, you notice a lot of the rock formations in this area have the appearance of being blown back from something that exploded far to the east. All the rock formations kind of have, if I'm just going to draw it for you guys on the screen, you kind of see, like, as you're flying, let's say, your ship is up here, right? A lot of the rocks have this kind of shape to them. Like there was an explosion that slagged a lot of the ground. And from this height, you can realize, when you'd be on the ground, it would just be winding through paths and up over hills. But at this height, you can see it all sort of forms a colossal detonation. Now they have all this vegetation is up growing on it and making it less obvious, but it's still very much there.
I'd like to walk up to Quinn if he's standing at the railing still, and just stand next to him and smoke a bit and watch the scenery pass. It's quite beautiful up here.
Yeah. Almost peaceful.
Yeah. I guess I never noticed how quiet it could be sometimes. I always wondered what the clouds sounded like.
Sounded like?
Well, I didn't know until I was up here,
Yeah. Sounds like wind.
Yeah, but there's like something special to it, I don't know. Do you ever hear things on the wind sometimes? Like, not in a weird way. I just mean like, I don't know, like the vibrations of the universe or something.
I mean, I've seen and heard a lot of really strange stuff here that I have never encountered before. So yeah, there's certainly some things that could be considered hearing things on the wind.
I don't know, that was stupid. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I saw you looking at this back at the hotel, and I'll pull out the stone with the draconic images and just shake it and hold it up. And
at this distance in Draconic, it says, "Outlook unclear."
Outlook unclear.
Can you read that? Is that what it is saying?
Oh yeah, that's Draconic.
I guess that's kind of impressive that you know that. What about now?
Signs point to yes.
Signs point to yes.
Will we survive the next encounter of these mudhawks?
Ask again later.
Ask again later.
Fair enough.
That's not ominous. That's a fun toy. That's
Here,
fun.
you ask a question.
Do it. Okay, go ahead and shake it. I thought it.
No, you'll have to say it out loud. That is how it works, obviously.
Really?
Yeah! I can
No.
tell that's how it... Yeah, no, it won't work if you don't say it out loud.
I'm okay.
Come on.
Actually, Quinn blushes a little bit. I'm fine, Evie. Don't worry about it. It's fun.
Why are your cheeks turning pink?
I found something, and I go into my bags, and I pull out the beads that I found.
Oh, the pearls of wisdom.
The pearls of wisdom. I found something like that too. Look at this one. This is very similar. Very similar.
What does
Do you want to use them? It looks like a pearl necklace. Interestingly enough, but the beads are a bit oversized.
So I take them and I kneel down to make sure that they don't like fall off the deck or anything, and I throw them onto the ground, right? Like because
it's almost as if there's no string that they're attached to. They're all just kind of touching each other, and as they hit the deck, they just scatter all over the place. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Yeah.
And ask your question. You don't have to ask it.
And it's
out loud.
So the response was without a doubt. So does it actually like form into
It forms the words.
Okay.
On the deck. So it says without a doubt spelled out in pearls on the
Right.
deck. And then they coalesce together and reform into just the necklace laying on the ground.
What?
And I've never really figured out a use for them, but you know.
Did you ask it a question?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What was the question?
Oh, don't worry about it. Do you want to try?
Sure.
I hand her the pearls.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna look at the pearls and think for a moment. And I will think to myself, is Ovi still alive? And I'll throw it out on the ground.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d20.
Roll a d20.
A 19.
It says outlook not so good.
No, you're right. This is a stupid game anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's just a game. Really, like I said, I haven't really found a use for it. So.
I mean, it's probably not even real, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said. What kind of? How does it know, right?
It's just like a trick, right? Like a fun
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a party trick, parlor trick.
You guys hear from high up in the crow's nest of the ship, and you hear the voice of Rosenbrand, kind of distant, yelling over the wind as they're coming upon something below. And as you guys staying at the front of the ship look over, you can see what appears to be a swamp, almost, with what looks like a completely dilapidated citadel in the center. It looks like it may have once had various retaining walls around it that have all crumbled in as what looks like the vegetation has sprung up from the center and sort of weaved its roots out from a central point in this area. There is a tall, central gnarled tree with a thick base and a giant plume of a canopy that sort of hangs down in the way that a willow would hang down. Actually, for anybody who's been to Bastion, which I think is everybody, it looks very much like the great tree in the Green Quarter. Might be the same sort of species. So possibly fey in nature. This gigantic tree that rises out of the center of the citadel that has turned the land to like a swampy, a swampy mud on the outermost edges and verdant and green towards the center. And Rosenbrand says, "Well, saw some scrap of tracks coming in towards this area. Is this what you folks are looking for?"
Is that what we folks are looking for? And then I'll put my arms on his shoulders.
You just cringe it lightly at like slapping him in the shoulder.
As all that's going on, I put my hand on Evie's shoulder and I say, "Hey, I know that question was important to you, and I'll help you figure it out when all of this is over, if you want, because I saw something there, and you don't have to go it alone."
I'll just nod. Kind of a thank you.
So let's go kill some bad people.
Yeah, that's just what I need.
You guys all meet in the central room of the airship, with Rosenbrand sitting on the map table itself. All right. So what's the plan of attack? You want to go in loud, or we
violent and direct?
Yeah, I think the element of surprise will work to our advantage.
I can get us close, but I do not want to risk my ship. It is my livelihood.
Did you see something down there that would indicate that it was a risk?
Well, I assume, if you folks are involved, there's always a risk.
Weird energy to bring forward to this team activity.
Well, I just want to make sure that you've already convinced me to help the people of the town, and I want to help in any way I can. I also don't want to lose my entire livelihood and get my vehicle destroyed.
As previously discussed, this airship is our ride around the frontier, and we're grateful for that, and we respect that, and we don't want that destroyed either, so we're all alive. Once again, our friendship and solidarity shines through.
Let's just figure out how we want to do this, and I'll do whatever I can.
If you don't want to risk the ship, maybe we should bring it down away from all of this. I mean, we've been flying over them, so they probably spotted us already, right?
Well, we're not exactly quiet. You can hear, he's shouting over the engine of the...
shit!
In this room, it is fairly muffled, but it definitely is pretty loud, and it's high up in the air, so it's probably projecting quite a bit of sound. We're not known for our stealth, unfortunately.
So we have lost the element of surprise, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, not all of the surprise. I can get in there pretty quickly, pretty close to the center, and I can always drop you off and come back around when you give me the signal.
I'm fine with that method.
All right.
Okay.
Whatever gets this party started.
It's going to be quick, and if you've got a better way down than just jumping out, I would suggest that one.
You got a rope ladder or something?
I can lower you with a rope ladder, that's totally fine.
Down we go.
All right. So,
Sorry, what was the plan? I was not listening.
You'll figure it out.
As they were talking, I down.
Oh, you cut out. You cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry, am I here?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. As they were talking, I was concentrating on doing a little bit of magical tinkering. I pulled out a wooden dowel and affixed a casing on it with a little end cap that I can just remove with my thumb, and I imbue light on the end of the stick. So it's basically,
Nice.
for all intents and purposes, it's like a pen light.
Yeah. Awesome.
Should probably stick that to Guardian's head. He has a hard time seeing in the dark.
And as I say, what was the plan? I wasn't listening. I just stick it down into my shirt pocket. And then I see everybody going over, and I'm like, well, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the spirit.
All right.
Learning
So,
on the job.
as the sputtering airship begins to drop in low, you guys are all kind of holding yourselves on the deck. You're all right along the side as the rope ladder is thrown over the side by a burly-looking bugbear. And he turns to you and says, "You're all fucking stupid for this. Well, good luck."
Well, it ain't stupid
That's
if it
his
works.
middle name, actually.
The ship drops in low and fast and begins to pull up right at the last minute, and it's like he's a little late on the draw as it kind of scrapes a bit across one of the crenellations of one of these tall destroyed towers. And as it pulls in, you guys are right at the central keep of this that's been completely taken over by this giant central tree that is hundreds of feet high by this point as you drop down low. And you guys all leap off the side, climbing down the ladder. As you land on that central landing on top of this tower, he begins to pull away, and you hear, "Best of luck! Don't forget the signal!" As he begins to pull away.
What is the signal?
Yeah.
As he's like, "Oh, it's the..."
Can I roll for perception? to
How
see
do
if
we
I
know
hear?
he's actually gonna come back?
You don't.
Oh, good.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Perception. 15.
He says,
22.
16.
You hear "front in your bag," Quinn. You hear "flare gun in your bag" to Chuck.
Flare
Chuck,
gun,
you-
got it.
Chuck, you've got the flare gun because you're proficient with firearms.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, as you guys hit the landing, you all stand up. I think that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today's session, and we will dig into
Oh man.
this weird second dungeon of the campaign. So, hell yeah, guys! Great job. That was a lot of fun in that town. That was fucking crazy. Guys, thank you so much for being with us and hanging out while we all play some D&D. I hope you guys had a good time. I know we had a blast, and really thankful that folks are hanging out and enjoying us play the game that we love so much. So we will be back next weekend, and you can always catch us sometimes during the week. We'll be sure to let you guys know on the Discord if we jump in on a Tuesday or a Thursday. But you can also catch Autumn on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we'll be trolling him in the chat. Don't worry. But until then, everybody, have a wonderful weekend, and we love you. Take care.